practicing medicine while traveling through Douluo, but a goddess secretly eavesdrops on my inner thoughts. Hey, fanfic family. So glad to see you here again to continue this incredible adventure. As always, kindly remember, this story is 100% fiction. So don't go looking for dimensional portals in your closet. All rights to this fantastic novel belong to the original author. We're just your humble narrators of epic tales. Are you enjoying the fanfic? Show it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and dropping us a like. And if you're impatient for more exclusive content, our Patreon is your happy place. Period. Chapter 201 The real culprit who killed Bibi Dong's parents. What's going on? Did young Master Long use any soul skills? As the time for the two-pole static realm has come, Xiaoyao, see which, Douluo and Yan, who have resumed action, are shocked and confused when they see Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei being sucked away by Long Xiaoyao. After a while, Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei were attracted to Long Xiaoyao, and Long Xiaoyao strangled their necks, making it difficult to breathe. The remaining soul power that Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei had to escape were all swallowed up by Long Xiaoyao's use of devouring all things. As a result, Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei were held in Long Xiaoyao's hands like little chickens, unable to break free from Long Xiaoyao's hands. Answer my questions honestly, that way I can make your death a little more pleasant, otherwise I will make your life worse than death. Long Xiaoyao stared at Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei and threatened them coldly. Okay, Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei were stared at by Long Xiaoyao, and they all felt as if they were being targeted by the god of death. They felt extremely frightened, with cold sweat breaking out from behind, and they nodded uncontrollably. Who are Donger's parents? Who killed Donger's parents? Long Xiaoyao continued to stare into Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei's eyes and asked coldly. He felt that Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei should know what he wanted to know. Who is Donger? Yu Guan tried his best to ask Long Xiaoyao. Ji Yuimei also looked at Long Xiaoyao curiously. They were so scared now that they had no idea that the Donger in Long Xiaoyao's sky meant Bibi Dong. Bibi Dong, Long Xiaoyao explained concisely, and at the same time loosened the necks of Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei so that Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei could answer his questions. Bibi Dong, Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei were shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's explanation. They didn't expect that Long Xiaoyao would ask them who Bibi Dong's parents were, and who killed Bibi Dong's parents. Both Saxi, Xiaoyao and Si which knew about the relationship between Long Xiaoyao and Bibi Dong. They also looked at Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei curiously. They were also very curious about who Bibi Dong's parents were and who killed Bibi Dong's parents. Bibi Dong, Douluo and Yan only knew that Long Xiaoyao snatched Bibi Dong from the Wuhun Palace and injured Jin's Unji. They never expected that Long Xiaoyao would ask Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei who killed Bibi Dong. The parents also looked at Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei curiously. If I say, Her Highness the Saint has been an orphan since she was a child. We have never met her parents, let alone who killed her parents. Just when Yu Guan was about to say something, Ji Yuimei rushed to speak, looking extremely sure. Bibi Dong was a child kidnapped by the Wuhun Palace, so she became an orphan when she was a child. When she grew up, she became a member of the Wuhun Palace without her knowledge. Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei indeed both knew what Long Xiaoyao wanted to know. But Ji Yuimei is a loyal subordinate of Wuhun Palace and knows that Wuhun Palace's plan to kidnap children cannot be exposed, otherwise it will affect the reputation of Wuhun Palace, so he intends to pretend to be ignorant and would rather be killed by Long Xiaoyao. However, Yu Guan was more concerned about his own life than the reputation of Wuhun Palace. He planned to use what Long Xiaoyao wanted to know in exchange for a way out. What? As soon as the ghost finished speaking, he made a scream like a killing pig, which was very sharp and harsh. At the same time, the ghost's whole body began to tremble uncontrollably, and his orifices were bleeding, which looked very scary. It turns out that Long Xiaoyao once again used devour all things against the ghosts. However, what Long Xiaoyao devoured was not the ghost's soul power, but the ghost's soul, and he slowly devoured the ghost's soul, making the ghost feel incomparable pain, and it was pain that reached deep into his soul. That's why ghosts suddenly become like this. Old Ghost, Yu Guan heard the ghost's cry and saw the ghost's extremely scary appearance. While he was very worried about the ghost, he was also even more afraid that he would become like the ghost. If you don't want to be like him, just answer my questions honestly. Long Xiaoyao looked at Yu Guan, stared into Yu Guan's eyes, and asked coldly. If I tell you, can you let me and the old ghost live? Yu Guan trembled and asked Long Xiaoyao that although he cared about his own life, he also cared about the life of ghosts. After all, he had cooperated with ghosts for more than 40 years and they were as close as brothers. You are not qualified to negotiate terms with me, tell me quickly, Long Xiaoyao still said coldly. After hearing Yu Guan's words, he was even more sure that Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei knew what he wanted to know. If you are not willing to let us live, then I would rather not tell, so that you will never know, Yu Guan threatened Long Xiaoyao with a trembling voice. He knew that if he and Ji Yuimei wanted to survive now, they could only rely on this news. He would only tell Long Xiaoyao if he agreed to let them go. What? As soon as Yu Guan finished speaking, he, like the ghost on the side, let out a sharp pig-killing scream, his body began to tremble uncontrollably, and blood began to bleed from his 7 orifices. Bo Sixi, Aoya and the Sea Witch all felt some sympathy as they listened to the screams of Yu Guan and the ghosts, and looked at the extremely terrifying moonlight and ghosts. But they did not choose to stop Long Xiaoyao, because they all knew that Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei were not good people. Bo and Yan looked at Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei, and listened to Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei's screams, although they felt a little sympathetic. But it was even more impossible for them to stop Long Xiaoyao, because they knew that if it weren't for Long Xiaoyao, they would probably be dead by now. After a while, Yu Guan's scream stopped, but the ghost was still screaming in pain. Can you tell me? Long Xiaoyao stared at Yu Guan and asked coldly again. I say, Yu Guan nodded and said, he didn't want to taste the pain just now again, it was really worse than death. Laoju, please, the ghost just tried his best to stop Yu Guan, but before he could finish his words, he let out a more painful scream, and the blood from his 7 orifices also flowed more, making him look even more terrifying. The parents of Her Royal Highness the Saint are 2 titled Douluo, who are known as the twin spiders of extinction 18 years ago. The combat power of the 2 of them together is even more powerful than a level 95 titled Douluo. Our spirit hall has invited the extinct twin spiders to join us more than once, but they have refused to join. So His Majesty the Pope found the Great Enshrinement, and asked the Great Enshrinement to give the order, led by the Second Enshrinement Master, to carry out a plan to kidnap them, kill the extinct twin spiders, and bring back their daughter, Her Royal Highness the Saint. Enter the Wuhun Palace, in order to prevent His Highness the Saint from discovering that her parents were killed by our Wuhun Palace. His Majesty the Pope also ordered that all information on the exterminating twin spiders be destroyed. Yu Guan screamed even more miserably when he saw the ghost. At the same time, he felt the pain that his body and soul had just experienced, and he said everything directly. Sure enough, Long Xiaoyao nodded. What Yu Guan said was almost exactly what he guessed. What? Bo Sixi, Aoya, Sea Witch and Yin were all shocked when they heard Yu Guan's words. They didn't expect Bibi Dong to be so miserable. No wonder the 2 extinct spiders that were so famous in the Soul Master world suddenly disappeared. After hearing Yu Guan's words, Bo finally knew the truth of the matter. End of this chapter. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 203 helped Yin eliminate a backlash poison. Because I'm a doctor, knows a thing or two about all kinds of poisons, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile, his words full of confidence. Master Long, do you have any way to help Yin? Bo immediately asked Long Xiaoyao, his eyes full of expectation. Bo was more concerned about Yin's safety than himself. Moreover, Bo knew his situation very well. He knew that he was basically irreversible now, and he didn't think Long Xiaoyao had any way to help him. Bo now only hopes that Long Xiaoyao will find a way to help Yin, and is willing to help Yin, and he will be satisfied. Brother Long, can you help me and Grandpa? Yin also immediately asked Long Xiaoyao, his eyes full of expectation. Yin is also concerned about Bo's safety, because her parents died of backlash poison when she was a few years old, and now she only has Bo as a relative. Bo Sixi, Sea Witch and Aoya also looked at Long Xiaoyao with hope. They all hoped that Long Xiaoyao could find a solution. They couldn't bear that a child as young as Yin should suffer from the backlash poison. There's a way, Long Xiaoyao nodded affirmatively, his face full of confidence. Any solution? Douluo immediately asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. He had tried many methods, but none of them worked. He was very curious about what method Long Xiaoyao was talking about. Douluyan, Bo Seixi, Huoya and Si which also looked at Long Xiaoyao curiously. The backlash poison in your body comes from the poison of your martial soul. If you just remove it, it will backfire again in the future. This only treats the symptoms but not the root cause, and cannot cure it, and this backlash poison can become a poison that poisons your body, and it can also become a poison that you use to attack your enemies. So the best way is to track all the poison in your body to a certain soul bone that is integrated into your body, so that the backlash poison will not become a poison that poisons you, but will become a more enemy of you. Sharp weapon, Long Xiaoyao explained. I see. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, everyone nodded and felt that what Long Xiaoyao said made sense. Mr. Long, although the method you said makes sense, although I have a soul bone, the backlash poison in my body has now penetrated deeply into the bones and meridians of my body. It is not easy to lead them into the soul bone. I have tried many methods to remove the backlash poison from my body, but to no avail. But after a while, Douluo said helplessly. And Yuena is still young, and has not even awakened his martial soul, let alone introduced the backlash poison into his soul bone, and the probability of breaking out the soul bone is extremely low. I don't know if Yuena will have a chance to obtain the soul bone, and even if the soul bone can be exploded, I don't know if Yuena can get a soul bone before the backlash poison penetrates into the bones. Immediately afterwards, Douluo looked at Douluyan again and said with great concern, his eyes filled with distress. Hearing Douluo's words, Douluyan was also a little helpless. Bo Seixi, Ah Yin and Si which felt a little sorry for Douluyan. Senior Douluo doesn't have to worry about this. I have a way to prepare special medicine to help you, Senior Douluo, so that you can attract the counterattack poison in your body into your soul bone. Even the backlash poison that penetrates deep into your bones and meridians can be attracted to your soul bones. As soon as Douluo finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao immediately said to Douluo confidently. Master Long, are you serious? Douluo looked at Long Xiaoyao in disbelief. Douluyan, Bo Seixi, Huoya and Si which also looked at Long Xiaoyao in disbelief, hoping to get Long Xiaoyao's approval. Okay, Long Xiaoyao nodded affirmatively. Seeing Long Xiaoyao nodding affirmatively, Douluo and Douluyan both smiled. As for Yuena, it is true that your martial soul has not awakened yet, and you have no soul bones that can be used to store counterattack poison, so the best way now is to help you remove all the backlash poison from your body, and in order to prevent a backbiting poison from coming back again in the future, we need to regularly remove the backbiting poison from your body, until you obtain the soul bone in the future. Stop clearing the counterattack poison in your body and directly attract all the counterattack poison in your body to your soul bone, so that this counterattack poison can be used by you to attack the enemy weapon. Then Long Xiaoyao looked at Douluyan and said to Douluyan. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Douluo, Douluyan, Bo Seixi, Ah Yin and Si which all smiled. Then Mr. Long, is there any way you can help me get rid of the backlash poison in my body? Douluyan asked Long Xiaoyao expectantly. Douluo, Bo Seixi, Ah Yin and Si which also looked at Long Xiaoyao expectantly. This is very simple, just put your palm on my palm, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile, then squatted down, spread out his right hand, and stretched it out in front of Douluyan. It is good, Douluyan nodded, and Douluo also let go of Douluyan's little jade hand. Douluyan came directly in front of Long Xiaoyao, spread her small jade hand, and put her palm on Long Xiaoyao's palm. It may feel a little itchy later, so don't move, Long Xiaoyao reminded Douluyan with a smile. Okay, Douluyan nodded and was ready to deal with it. Buzz! Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao directly mobilized his soul power and used Devour All Things on Douluyan, and began to accurately attract the backlash poison in Douluyan's body from his whole body to the palm of his hand, and began to devour it. Ahuha, it's so ticklish, arhaha. As soon as Long Xiaoyao started to swallow the backlash poison in Douluyan's body, Douluyan couldn't help laughing, and his whole body danced uncontrollably with laughter. Because the backlash poison in Douluyan's body has filled the meridians, blood vessels, tissues, and organs of Douluyan's body. While attracting the backlash poison, it also stimulated Douluyan's whole body, making Douluyan feel extremely itchy and numb all over his body. He couldn't help laughing, and his body began to dance uncontrollably. What? In order to prevent Duguyan from dancing wildly, the backlash poison in Duguyan's body could not be perfectly removed. Long Xiaoyao directly pulled Duguyan into his arms with his left hand, hugged Duguyan tightly, and fixed Duguyan, which made Duguyan startled and couldn't help but scream. However, Long Xiaoyao's right hand did not stop helping Duguyan remove the backlash poison from his body. Ahaha! After Duguyan screamed, he immediately laughed again and started dancing uncontrollably. However, due to Long Xiaoyao's fixation, Duguyan did not dance much, which would not affect Long Xiaoyao's help in removing the backlash poison from his body. Bo Saxi, Huoyat, Si Wich and Dugubo watched on the side. Knowing that Long Xiaoyao was helping Duguyan remove the backlash poison from his body, they didn't say anything. They just watched quietly, waiting. Ahaha, Brother Long, stop, ha, stop, it's really itchy, ahaha, Duguyan shouted desperately. She really felt too itchy and couldn't bear it anymore. Chapter 204 Dugubo and Duguyan join Xiaoyao's sect. Brother Long, I beg, ahaha, please stop, it's really itchy, ahaha, it's too itchy, I cannot stand it anymore, ahaha. 3 minutes passed, and Duguyan desperately begged Long Xiaoyao for mercy. Duguyan really felt that her whole body was itching so much that she couldn't bear it anymore. She was laughing so hard that tears flowed down her cheeks, and her stomach hurt from laughing. Duguyan's whole body felt weak because of this. If Long Xiaoyao hadn't been holding her, she would have fallen to the ground now. Alright, Long Xiaoyao finally helped Duguyan remove the backlash poison from his body, and he let go of Duguyan's handing. Congratulations to the host for curing a little girl's backlash poison and gaining 1,000 medical points. At this moment, Xiao Yi's voice sounded in Long Xiaoyao's mind. Long Xiaoyao smiled, but he did not let go of Duguyan, but hugged and supported Duguyan to prevent Duguyan from falling to the ground because of his weak smile. Duguyan immediately stopped laughing and leaned weakly against Long Xiaoyao's body. Yan, how do you feel now? Dugubo immediately squatted down and asked Duguyan with concern. Bo Saxi, and Si Wich could not help but surround Duguyan and looked at him with concern. I feel so comfortable all over my body now, and I can't feel any pain anywhere. All the backlash poison in my body has indeed been eliminated. After taking a breath, Duguyan carefully felt her physical condition, then showed a bright smile and said happily. After hearing Duguyan's words and seeing Duguyan's smile, Dugubo finally felt relieved and showed a kind unhappy smile. Bo Saxi, and Si Wich also smiled, and they were all happy for Duguyan. Master Long, thank you very much. Dugubo immediately smiled and thanked Long Xiaoyao. His current gratitude to Long Xiaoyao was like a torrential river, endless. Because Duguyan is Dugubo's most beloved granddaughter, and the only relative in the world. For Duguyan, Dugubo would even give his life. Thank you, Brother Long. Duguyan also immediately turned to Long Xiaoyao, smiled and thanked Long Xiaoyao. Duguyan was also really grateful to Long Xiaoyao, because her body had never felt so comfortable since she became sensible. Boom. Then Duguyan kissed Long Xiaoyao's cheek without saying anything, expressing his gratitude to Long Xiaoyao. You're welcome Yan. Long Xiaoyao also showed a bright smile and said to Duguyan with a smile. Senior Dugubo, although I can prepare special medicine to help you, let you attract the counterattack poison in your body into your soul bone, but I don't have enough medicine right now, so I want you and Yan to follow us to a place where there is enough medicine, but that place is our Xiaoyao sect's treasured place and a secret place. I will only bring people from our Xiaoyao sect into it. Besides, before Yan gets a soul bone, I need to regularly remove the backlash poison from her body, so I want to invite you and Yan to join our Xiaoyao sect. Although I founded Xiaoyao sect not long ago, I don't even have an address, the number of people is very small, and the world doesn't know the name of Xiaoyao sect yet, but I can guarantee that Xiaoyao sect will definitely become the #1 sect in Douluo continent in the near future. I wonder if you are willing. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao smiled and explained directly to Dugubo, and invited Dugubo to join Xiaoyao Mandao. His words were full of confidence. The reason why Long Xiaoyao invited Dugubo and Duguyan to join Xiaoyao sect was because Dugubo was a powerful fighting force. Long Xiaoyao knew that although Dugubo was the title Douluo with the weakest attack power, Dugubo was the title Douluo with the widest and strongest range of attacks, and was an important combat force for him to conquer the Spirit Hall in the future. What's more important is that Long Xiaoyao knows that Du Guyan, as a descendant of Dugubo, will definitely become a more powerful being than Dugubo in the future, and will also become a goddess level if he receives his training from an early age. Beauties. As for Aoi and the Sea Witch, when Long Xiaoyao came here while driving the Little Hornet, he had already explained to Aoi and the Sea Witch that Bosaixi was now his woman, and also explained that Poseidon was just using Bosaixi. At first, Oya and the Sea Witch didn't believe it. But with Bosaixi's affirmation, they believed Long Xiaoyao's words. Later, Long Xiaoyao explained his situation with Ah Yin and Bibi Dong to Aoi and Sea Witch, and stated his purpose, and then invited Aoi and Sea Witch to join Xiaoyao sect. Aoi and the Sea Witch both regarded Bosaixi as their relatives, and knowing that the Poseidon only wanted to use Bosaixi, they all followed Bosaixi to join Xiaoyao sect with Bosaixi's persuasion. As for the blood-red nine-headed Bat King, it did not dare to disobey Long Xiaoyao. It was still standing behind the Little Hornet, watching Long Xiaoyao and the others from a distance, so that Dugubo and Duguyan did not notice it at all. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's explanation and invitation, Dugubo thought for a moment, and then looked at Duguyan and thought for a while. Duguyan looked at Dugubo expectantly. She wanted to join Long Xiaoyao's Xiaoyao sect, but she also understood Dugubo and knew that Dugubo liked freedom and did not like to be restrained. Duguyan understood that once Dugubo agreed to join Long Xiaoyao's Xiaoyao sect, Dugubo would be restrained. Yan and I are willing to join young Master Long Xiaoyao sect. Dugubo looked at Long Xiaoyao and nodded affirmatively. Dugubo agreed to Long Xiaoyao not to ask Long Xiaoyao to help him, nor to join the first sect in Douluo continent in the future, but to repay Long Xiaoyao's life-saving and detoxifying kindness. Especially for Du Guyan. Although Dugubo likes freedom, he would risk his life for Du Guyan, so why would he be reluctant to give up his freedom? It is good, Long Xiaoyao smiled. Great, Duguyan also showed a bright smile. But I have a merciless request, and I hope Mr. Long can agree to it. Immediately afterwards, Dugubo said to Long Xiaoyao again. Please say, Long Xiaoyao made an inviting gesture to Dugubo. I can join the Xiaoyao sect, and I will obey any orders from young Master Long. Even if young Master Long asks me to go to the Mountain of Swords or the Sea of Fire, I will never say no, but the time limit is only 20 years. After 20 years, I hope Mr. Long can let me quit Xiaoyaoman. I will be old by then, and Yan will have grown up and become independent. I hope to be able to wander around the world alone, free and easy. Dugubo said directly that he planned to use his 20 years to repay Long Xiaoyao's kindness, and also to witness Duguyan's growth. Grandfather. Hearing Dugubo's words, Duguyan was very moved, and tears began to flash in his eyes. Because Duguyan knew that the reason why Dugubo promised Long Xiaoyao and worked for Long Xiaoyao for 20 years was all for her. It is good, Long Xiaoyao directly agreed that 20 years was enough for him to develop Xiaoyao sect to the point where he could conquer Wuhun Palace. See Master Long, Dugubo said nothing more and saluted Long Xiaoyao directly. Well, without further ado, let's set off now. Then Long Xiaoyao led everyone to Little Hornet. Duguyan and Dugubo were shocked when they saw the blood-red nine-headed Bat King. After Long Xiaoyao's simple explanation, Dugubo and Duguyan realized that Long Xiaoyao's true identity was both a human and a mythical beast. They were shocked and couldn't calm down for a long time. End of this chapter? Chapter 205. The girls meet at a large shura field. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao asked Dugubo to hold Duguyan and sit in the passenger seat of Little Hornet. Let Bosaixi, Aoi and Sea Witch sit in the back seat and squeeze together. Still let the blood-red nine-headed Bat King stand behind the Little Hornet. Then Long Xiaoyao drove the Little Hornet and flew to the ice and fire eyes in the sunset forest. It was evening at this moment, the sun was setting in the west, and the sunset glow made the sky and clouds red, and also the whole land. Bumblebee, it's Xiaoyao and the others who are back. Brother Xiaoyao and the others are back. Master, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Yuena, Liu Long, Xiao Wu, Hulina and Ziyu, who had just finished practicing and studying and were planning to prepare dinner, all showed bright smiles when they saw the Little Hornet suddenly slowly falling from the sky, all looking at the Little Hornet. Xiaoyao actually found 3 more such beautiful women. Brother Xiaoyao actually found 3 more such beautiful women. And there is one who is actually a mermaid.
But when you can see the people coming down from the little hornet, especially Bo Saixi, Oya and Sea Witch, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Yuena, Liu Erlong, and Xiao Wu were shocked, but they also felt very uncomfortable inside, and their faces became a little unfriendly. They all felt that since Long Xiaoyao had brought the 3 Bo Saixi girls here, there was a high probability that the 3 Bo Saixi girls were already Long Xiaoyao's women. Although they didn't mind how many women Long Xiaoyao found, Long Xiaoyao had only been out for less than 10 days before he found 3 more beautiful women. How could they not mind it at all? How could you not be unhappy? Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong were even better. They not only confirmed their relationship with Long Xiaoyao, but also became a couple. They were not afraid that Long Xiaoyao would be snatched away by Bo Saixi's 3 girls, and they were not particularly unhappy inside. However, Yuena and Xiao Wu were particularly concerned and felt very unhappy inside. Although Yuena has established a relationship with Long Xiaoyao, they are not yet married to Long Xiaoyao. Now that Long Xiaoyao has found Bo Saixi's 3 daughters again, Yuena has 3 more opponents, so of course she won't be unhappy. Although Xiao Wu had entrusted her to Long Xiaoyao and confirmed his feelings for her, due to her transformation and reconstruction, she was still far from being physically able to have sex with Long Xiaoyao. Xiao Wu was already very envious of Ah Yin and other girls, and now she also envied the 3 Bo Saixi girls. Of course she wouldn't feel good about it, and of course she would be unhappy. Brother Xiaoyao actually found 3 more such beautiful women. One of them is actually a mermaid. Hulina looked at Bo Saixi, Aoi and Sea Witch, and was surprised. She felt a little uncomfortable for some reason, and felt a little unhappy. Master is really amazing. Unexpectedly, within less than 10 days of going out, I brought back 3 such beautiful women. And one of them is actually from the mermaid tribe. Ziyu looked at Bo Saixi, Aoi and Sea Witch, and was shocked in her heart, and she admired Long Xiaoyao even more. As for the blood-red 9-headed bat king standing behind the little hornet, he was once again ignored by Yin Liu and Ziyu. So many beautiful sisters. Du Yuan was shocked when he looked at the 4 Yin girls, especially Yuena, and couldn't help but exclaimed, "What a beautiful woman!" Bo Saixi, Aoi and Sea Witch were also very shocked when they looked at the 4 girls of Yin, especially Yuena. Because they found that Yuena was even far superior to Bo Saixi in terms of appearance, figure, and temperament. Moreover, they were stared at by Yuena. Seeing Yuena's unfriendly eyes, even Bo Saixi felt a little scared. Bo looked at the 4 girls of Yin, especially Yuena, and was dumbfounded, completely ignoring the unique environment of the ice and fire eyes. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have believed that there was such a beautiful and elegant woman as Yuena in this world. As a result, they could not find any words to describe Yuena's beauty. Yiner, Danger, Natter, Longer, Xiao Wu, Nana, Ziyu, I'm back. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Ah Yin's 6th girl and Ziyu, and at the same time opened his arms, expecting Ah Yin's 6th girl and Ziyu to rush over and hug him. Brother Xiaoyao, who are the 3 of them? Instead of running over and hugging Long Xiaoyao, Xiao Wu pointed at the 3 Bo Saixi girls and asked Long Xiaoyao unhappily that she wanted to confirm the relationship between the 3 Bo Saixi girls and Long Xiaoyao first. Ah Yin and the 5 girls did not rush over, but were also waiting for Long Xiaoyao's answer. Although Ah Yin and the 6 girls all felt that the 3 Bo Saixi girls were most likely Long Xiaoyao's women, they still wanted Long Xiaoyao to tell them personally. As Hulina's brother, Ziyu first met Ah Yin and the 5th daughter. He also lived with the 5th daughter of Ah Yin for so long and learned a lot of knowledge from them. He must be on the side of the 6th daughter of Ah Yin, and did not run over. Long Xiaoyao could see that the 6 girls of Yin were a little unhappy. He was not angry, but was very happy because he knew that this meant that the 6 girls of Yin cared about him, otherwise they would not feel unhappy. This is Zir, her name is Bo Saixi. She is the high priest of Poseidon Island. Now she is my woman just like you. Long Xiaoyao first pulled Bo Saixi out and introduced him to Yin's 6th girl and Ziyu with a smile. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's introduction, Bo Saixi's pretty face blushed slightly and showed a happy smile. This is Xiaoyao, Zir's maid and assistant, but she is like Zir's relative. Although she is not my woman yet, she is already a member of our Xiaoyao sect. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao pointed at Aoi and introduced. This is the Sea Witch, a subordinate of Zir, and a close relative of Zir. Although she is not my woman yet, she is now a member of our Xiaoyao sect, Long Xiaoyao pointed at the sea witch and introduced her. Long Xiaoyao knew that the sixth daughter Ah Yin was most concerned about the relationship between the sixth daughter Bo Saixi and him, so he made it clear. This is Du Gubo, and this is Du Guyan. They are now also members of our Xiaoyao sect. Long Xiaoyao pointed to Du Gubo and Du Guyan and introduced. Xiaoyaoman, Ah Yin Liu and Xiaoyu both had question marks on their faces when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words. They had never heard of the term Xiaoyao sect. Xiaoyaoman is the name of the sect I founded, and you are all members of our Xiaoyaoman, Long Xiaoyao explained. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Ah Yin Liu and Xiaoyu suddenly realized. This is Yuena, her name is Ah Yin. She is a 10-year-old blue-silver emperor who transformed into reincarnation. She is my first woman. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao came to Yin's side, took Ah Yin's jade hand, and introduced the three girls of Bo Saixi and Du Gubo and Du Guyan with a smile. Ah Yin smiled happily when she heard Long Xiaoyao introduce her like this. The three Bo Saixi girls, Du Gubo, and Du Guyan were all shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's introduction, because they could not tell that Ah Yin had the aura of a soul beast at all. This is Danger. Her name is Bibi Dong. She is the saint of the former Wuhun Palace. She is my second woman. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao came to Bibi Dong's side again, took Bibi Dong's jade hand, and introduced with a smile. Bibi Dong also smiled happily when she heard Long Xiaoyao's introduction. This is Longer, named Liu Erlong, and she is my fifth woman. Long Xiaoyao came to Liu Erlong's side again, took Liu Erlong's jade hand, and introduced with a smile. Liu Erlong also smiled happily when he heard Long Xiaoyao's introduction. This is Xiao Wu. You may not think she looks like a little girl, but she is a 10-year-old soft-bone rabbit who has transformed into reincarnation. She is my sixth woman. Long Xiaoyao came to Xiao Wu's side, squatted down, hugged Xiao Wu's jade arm, and introduced with a smile. What? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's introduction, Bo Saixi's three daughters and Du Gubo, Du Guyan was shocked. If Long Xiaoyao hadn't said it, they would have had no idea that Xiao Wu was a 10-year-old soft-bone rabbit who transformed into reincarnation. When Xiao Wu heard Long Xiaoyao's introduction, she also showed a bright and happy smile. This is Natter, her name is Yuena, her true form is the Silver Dragon King. She is a divine beast with a divine king level cultivation. She is the co-master of the soul beasts of Douluo continent, and she is my seventh woman. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao came to Yuena's side again, took Yuena's jade hand, and introduced with a smile. What? Upon hearing Long Xiaoyao's introduction, the three Bo Saixi girls, Du Gubo and Du Guyan were so shocked that they opened their mouths. When Yuena heard Long Xiaoyao's introduction, she also smiled happily. This is Nana, her name is Hulina. She is a very talented human being and is Danger's apprentice. Long Xiaoyao came to Hulina's side again, hugged Hulina's jade arm, and introduced with a smile. When Hulina heard Long Xiaoyao's introduction, she felt very disappointed and couldn't help laughing. This is Xiu, Nana's brother, a very talented human being, and my apprentice. Long Xiaoyao came to Xiaoyu again and introduced with a smile. Finally two normal ones. After listening to Long Xiaoyao's introduction to Hulina, Xiaoyu, the three Bo Saixi girls and Du Gubo, Du Guyan finally no longer needed to be shocked. End of this chapter? Chapter 206 Long Xiaoyao's Dream. Hey, upon hearing Long Xiaoyao's introduction, Xiu touched his head sheepishly and showed a naive smile. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao let go of Xiao and stood up. Yuena, Danger, Natter, Longer, Xiao, Zir, I know you are very unhappy that I still want to find another woman even though I already have you, Long Xiaoyao said guiltily while walking to the middle. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Yuena, Liu Erlong, Xiao Wu and Bo Saixi, even Huoya and Si Witch nodded. Hulina and Du Guyan also nodded. Although they were still young, they would feel unhappy if it were them. Xiu and Du Gubo also nodded. If he could get one of Ah Yin and the others, he would be satisfied. But I have a dream, that is to chase all the beautiful and kind goddesses like you in the world. This is also the reason why whenever I meet you, I will treat you well and pursue you with all my strength. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao changed the topic, and explained in a serious manner without blushing or beating. I see. Hearing Long Xiaoyao praise them as beautiful and kind-hearted goddesses, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Yuena, Liu Erlong, Xiao Wu and Bo Saixi all showed happy smiles.
They all felt very happy, and the feeling in their hearts was the unpleasant feeling suddenly disappeared a lot. As you can see, Oya and Sea Witch are also beautiful and kind goddesses, and I am chasing them now. Long Xiaoyao looked at Oya and Sea Witch, and said affirmatively. Okay, Bo Saxi nodded directly after hearing Long Xiaoyao's words. Of course she knew what kind of people Oya and Sea Witch were. Okay, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Yuena, Liu Long, and Xiao Wu all looked at Oya and Sea Witch and nodded after hearing Long Xiaoyao's words. They also felt that Oya and the Sea Witch were not only beautiful, but also kind-hearted, otherwise Long Xiaoyao would not have brought Oya and the Sea Witch here. Sect Master Long, you are really good at using sweet words to coax us, but my sister Sea Witch and I will not let you go easily. Oya hugged the Sea Witch's jade hand and said to Long Xiaoyao with a smile. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Oya felt very happy in her heart, because she now felt that Long Xiaoyao was most likely not the kind of lecherous person who always gave up, but really planned to give them a warm home. However, Oya didn't intend to let Long Xiaoyao get her and the Sea Witch easily, because she had to be completely sure that Long Xiaoyao was not the kind of lustful person who started to get into trouble and then gave up. Okay, hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, the Sea Witch felt very happy in her heart. Her pretty face turned slightly red and she nodded. So brother Xiaoyao doesn't chase me, is it because I'm too young? Hulina heard Long Xiaoyao's words and guessed in her heart. She really hoped that her guess was correct. Then when I grow up, will brother Long chase me? When Du Yuyan heard Long Xiaoyao's words, she very much hoped that when she grew up, Long Xiaoyao would chase her. Then according to what you mean, it's not like I have no chance of catching you, right? After hearing Oya's words and seeing the Sea Witch nodding, Long Xiaoyao smiled and asked Oya and the Sea Witch. Then it depends on whether you, Master Long, mean what you say, Huoya said to Long Xiaoyao with a smile. Of course I mean what I say. I will give all of you a warm home and won't let anyone bully you. Long Xiaoyao said with certainty, his words full of confidence. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Yuena, Liu Long, Xiao Wu and Bo Saxi all nodded in affirmation. They all believed in Long Xiaoyao. Especially Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Yuena and Bo Saxi, because they can all hear Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, but they didn't hear that Long Xiaoyao's inner voice was different from what Long Xiaoyao said just now. Of course, but only if it's not me, especially at night. Just after he finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao smiled and added with a smile. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Long and Bo Saxi remembered their battle with Long Xiaoyao the night before. Their pretty faces turned red and they lowered their heads shyly, not daring to look directly at Long Xiaoyao. Is brother Xiaoyao so powerful? When Yuena and Xiao Wu heard Long Xiaoyao's words and saw Ah Yin's and the others' reactions, they were very curious about Long Xiaoyao's ability, and they also started to look forward to it. What does brother Xiaoyao brother Long mean? Hulina and Du Yuyan are still young and have no idea what Long Xiaoyao is talking about, and they are both confused. The teacher is really awesome. Ziyu heard Long Xiaoyao's words and saw the reactions of Ah Yin and the others. Although he didn't know what Long Xiaoyao was talking about, he felt that Long Xiaoyao was so powerful and admired Long Xiaoyao even more. Sect Master Long is so lucky. When Du Yubo heard Long Xiaoyao's words, he felt very envious of Long Xiaoyao. Sect Master Long, you are so thick-skinned. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, I couldn't help laughing and scolding. Okay, the Sea Witch also nodded in affirmation. Although Oya and Sea Witch have never had sex with men and women, they are already so old that they will definitely be able to hear what Long Xiaoyao means. After hearing Oya's words, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Yuena, Liu Long, Xiao Wu and Bo Saxi nodded in affirmation. You're right. If I'm not thick-skinned, how can I have the nerve to chase you? Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. Brother Long, when I grow up, if I am as beautiful and kind as Sister Bo Saxi and the others, will you also chase me? At this moment, Du Yuyan stood up, with a red face, and asked Long Xiaoyao expectantly. She really hoped to get a positive answer from Long Xiaoyao. What? Seeing Du Yuyan suddenly stand up and ask Long Xiaoyao such a question, everyone was shocked, including Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao had no idea that Du Yuyan would suddenly stand up and ask him such a question. And me? Before Long Xiaoyao could answer Du Yuyan's question, Hulina also jumped out. Brother Xiaoyao, when I grow up,
If I am as beautiful and kind as Sister Yin and the others, will you also chase me? Hulina also asked Long Xiaoyao expectantly, and then she and Du Guyan stared at Long Xiaoyao. What? Everyone was even more shocked when they saw Hulina popping up right away and asking the exact same questions to Long Xiaoyao and Du Guyan. Everyone also looked at Long Xiaoyao, wanting to see how Long Xiaoyao would answer. Of course it will. Long Xiaoyao nodded without hesitation and answered Hulina and Du Guyan with a smile. Great, yeah. Seeing that Long Xiaoyao gave a positive answer without hesitation, Hulina and Du Guyan burst into laughter and jumped with excitement. Ah Yin and other girls were not too shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's answer. Instead, they felt that this was Long Xiaoyao. Because Long Xiaoyao just said that he would pursue any goddess who is as beautiful and kind as him. Very good. When Ziyu heard Long Xiaoyao's answer, instead of objecting, he agreed very much, because he believed that when Hulina grew up, Long Xiaoyao would treat Hulina well, and he would not have to worry about Hulina being deceived by other men. It seems that sect leader Long invited Yan Yan and me to join Xiaoyao's sect not because of my fighting prowess, but because of Yan Yan. Seeing that Long Xiaoyao gave Hulina and Du Guyan a positive answer without hesitation, Du Gubo guessed that Long Xiaoyao wanted him and Du Guyan to join Xiaoyao's sect mainly for Du Guyan. End of this chapter. Chapter 207 Confess Liu Erlang's life experience. But that's fine too. If Yan Yan can really be pursued by Long Xiaoyao when she grows up, I will be relieved. Du Gubo showed a kind smile. He knew that he could not accompany Du Guyan for the rest of his life. He could feel relieved when he handed Du Guyan over to Long Xiaoyao. But you are still young. What you need to do most now is to eat well, study well, practice well, and play well every day. Don't think so much about other things, you know. Then, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Hulina and Du Guyan. Understood, I will eat well, study well, practice well, and play well every day. Hulina and Du Guyan nodded and answered Long Xiaoyao with a smile. After receiving Long Xiaoyao's affirmative answer, they were completely relieved. The same goes for Xiao Wu and Ziyu. Did you hear that? Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said to Xiao Wu and Ziyu. Well, I heard it, brother Xiaoyao. Xiao Wu smiled and nodded affirmatively. I heard you, teacher. Ziyu also nodded. It is good. Long Xiaoyao also smiled and nodded. Now I am going to help Senior Du Gubo prepare the medicine, and help Senior Du Gubo attract all the backlash poison in his body to his soul bone. Xiao Wu, Nana, Ziyu, you take Yan Yan to play around and get familiar with the environment of the ice and fire eyes, Zir, Aoya, and See Witch. Go and wash vegetables and cook with Yainer, Danger, Nair, and Longer. Wait for me to come over and cook, and then I will explain the current situation to you in detail. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said to everyone. Okay, everyone answered Long Xiaoyao in unison. Nine-headed Bat King, Danger hasn't reached level, yet, so you should find a place to stay here first. When Danger reaches level, I will take her to find you. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said to the blood-red nine-headed Bat King who had been standing behind the little hornet. Yes, Lord Divine Beast, the blood-red nine-headed Bat King answered Long Xiaoyao respectfully, and then flew directly to find a suitable place for it to live. Brother Xiaoyao, what kind of soul beast is that? Only then did Ah Yin sixth girl and Ziyu notice the blood-red nine-headed Bat King. They had never seen the blood-red nine-headed Bat King before and were a little surprised. Xiao Wu asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. That's the blood-red nine-headed Bat King, because its attributes are particularly suitable for Danger, and it can cultivate to the god level on its own, so I let it follow me back, and after Danger reaches level, I will take the initiative to sacrifice it to Danger, Long Xiaoyao explained concisely. I see. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Ah Yin and the other girls nodded. Thank you, Xiaoyao. Bibi Dong sincerely thanked Long Xiaoyao. She was very touched. She knew that if it weren't for Long Xiaoyao, the blood-red nine-headed Bat King would never have been willing to sacrifice to Long Xiaoyao. She was really grateful to Long Xiaoyao. There's no need to be so polite between us, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bibi Dong. Senior Du Gubo, come with me. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao took Du Gubo to the place where the medicine was grown to prepare special medicine for Du Gubo. Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Yuena, Liu Erlong took Bo Saxi, Huoya and See Witch to wash vegetables and cook, waiting for Long Xiaoyao to come over to cook and explain the situation. Xiao Wu,
Hulina and Ziyu took Duguyan around to play. After arriving at a place full of medicines, it took about half an hour for Long Xiaoyao to prepare special medicines for Dugubo. He also told Dugubo how to cooperate with these drugs to track the backlash poison in the body to the soul bone. Senior Dugubo, if you are attracting the backlash poison here, I will go cook the food first. When the food is cooked, I will ask Yuena and the others to call you, Long Xiaoyao said to Dugubo, and then turned around. Sect Master Long, Nana will be left to you. Nana is a miserable child. She has been without parents since she was young. Please treat her well, Dugubo told Long Xiaoyao. Don't worry, Senior Dugubo, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Dugubo, and then went directly to the small villa. On the way to the small villa, Long Xiaoyao met Xiao, Hulina, Ziyu and Duguyan who were playing, and they all followed Long Xiaoyao back to the small villa. After returning to the small villa, Long Xiaoyao explained the current situation to Yin and other girls while cooking. Ah Yin and Bibi Dong were very happy when they heard Long Xiaoyao said that they could go out together. Ah Yin and other girls knew that Long Xiaoyao was going to save Yaosiki in 2 days, and they all agreed because they all sympathized with Yaosiki's experience. Finally, Long Xiaoyao also explained to Bibi Dong the news about Bibi Dong's parents that he heard from Yuguan. When Bibi Dong heard the news about her parents and learned that her parents were killed by Jin Zunji and Golden Zhua Douluo with Yuguan and Ji Yuimei, it was extremely difficult to accept it for a while. Because Bibi Dong had always regarded Jin Zunji as the person she respected and loved the most, but she never expected that Jin Zunji was actually one of her enemies who killed her parents. When Ah Yin and other girls heard the truth of the matter, they felt very sorry for Bibi Dong and didn't know what to say. In order not to let Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and other girls worry about her, Bibi Dong pretended to be fine. Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and other girls knew that Bibi Dong was trying not to worry them, so they deliberately pretended not to care about anything, so they didn't expose Bibi Dong. Longer, I have something to explain to you. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said to Liu Erlong seriously while cooking. After much thought, he decided to tell Liu Erlong the truth that Liu Erlong's father was Yu Luomian, because he felt that Liu Erlong had the right to know the truth. Xiaoyao, what's going on? Seeing that Long Xiaoyao was as serious as when he told Bibi Dong about her parents' information just now, Liu Erlong knew that what Long Xiaoyao wanted to tell her must be important. Your biological father is Yu Luomian, the second head of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family, Long Xiaoyao said every word seriously. What? Liu Erlong froze when she heard Long Xiaoyao's words, because she knew that Long Xiaoyao would not lie to her. Immediately afterwards, Liu Erlong's eyes were filled with anger, and his jade hands clenched, feeling extremely angry. She did not expect that her biological father not only abandoned her and her mother, but also forced Yaosiki to marry him. What? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Ah Yin, the other girls and Ziyu were all shocked. Because they just heard Long Xiaoyao say the name Yu Luomian, the second head of the Landian Tyrannosaurus Rex family who wanted to forcefully marry Yaosiki, Yu Luomian. None of them thought that Liu Erlong's biological father was Yu Luomian. Brother Xiaoyao, are you making a mistake? Sister Erlong's surname is Liu, and Yu Luomian's surname is Yu. How could Sister Erlong's biological father be Yu Luomian? Xiao Wu immediately asked Long Xiaoyao. She very much hoped that Long Xiaoyao had made a mistake. Yes, Ah Yin and other girls and Ziyu also nodded. They all hoped that Long Xiaoyao had made a mistake, otherwise Liu Erlong's biological father would have been their enemy. However, Ah Yin and other girls and Ziyu still didn't know that Liu Erlong and her mother were abandoned by Yu Luomian. Because Liu Erlong never told them about her life experience, mainly because Liu Erlong himself didn't know that she was Yu Luomian's daughter. No, Xiaoyao shouldn't be mistaken, because my biological father abandoned me and my mother when we were young, so I have my mother's surname, and my mother's surname is Liu. Before Long Xiaoyao could answer, Liu Erlong spoke first. What? Ah Yin, the other girls, and Ziyu were all shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words. Chapter 208 Rakshasa God's Thoughts. I am certain that what I just said is true. Longer's Fire Dragon Martial Spirit is a mutation of the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex Martial Spirit from the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus family, Long Xiaoyao also said affirmatively. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, and based on Liu Erlong's words just now, Ah Yin, the other girls and Ziyu all knew that this was the truth. The reason why I didn't tell you clearly before, longer, is because we haven't met Luo Mian yet, and I also have a grudge against the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex family. I'm worried that your relationship with me will affect the decision you will make after you know that Luo Mian is your biological father. Originally, I wanted to find a suitable time to tell you and then see what you were going to do so that I could help you, but I never found a suitable opportunity to tell you. When I heard that Luo Mian was going to forcefully marry Yaosiki, I originally wanted to kill Luo Mian without telling you, so that you would never know that your biological father was Luo Mian. This way you won't be in pain and anger because of it, and I won't care. But I thought about it again and again, and I feel that you have the right to know the truth. I can't just kill Luo Mian without you knowing that he is your biological father, so I tell you clearly now, Long Xiaoyao explained to Liu Erlong again. Xiaoyao, I understand. Thank you for telling me that my biological father is Luo Mian. Liu Erlong looked at Long Xiaoyao, nodded and thanked him. Xiaoyao, I beg you to take me with you to rescue Yaosiki tomorrow. I want to kill the tartless man Luo Mian with my own hands and avenge my mother. Immediately afterwards, Liu Erlong immediately begged Long Xiaoyao with full anger, and at the same time expressed her attitude towards Luo Mian. Liu Erlong only had endless hatred for Luo Mian, because Luo Mian not only abandoned her and her mother, but even did not tell her mother her identity. As a result, her mother wanted to find Luo Mian, but she couldn't find it. This also caused them to be bullied and insulted by others, and some even directly called her mother a pheasant and a bastard that no one wanted. In the end, her mother died unjustly, and she also spent her childhood being bullied. Now that Liu Erlong knew that Luo Mian was her biological father, she just wanted to kill Luo Mian with her own hands and had no intention of recognizing Luo Mian as her father. Sister Erlong, Ah Yin and other women in ZU were very surprised when they heard Liu Erlong's words and saw Liu Erlong's extremely angry look. They did not expect that Liu Erlong would hate Luo Mian so much. They knew that because of Luo Mian, Liu Erlong and her mother must have suffered a lot, and this kind of pain was even beyond their imagination. They were all very worried about Liu Erlong, but they didn't know how to persuade Liu Erlong. It is good, I will take you with me tomorrow. Long Xiaoyao nodded and agreed with Liu Erlong. Long Xiaoyao knew that Liu Erlong and her mother must have suffered a lot because of Luo Mian. Since Liu Erlong decided to go with her and kill Luo Mian himself, of course he would take Liu Erlong with him. But you can't act rashly. You must obey my command in everything. I will make Luo Mian pay the price he deserves. Long Xiaoyao told Liu Erlong again that he knew Liu Erlong had a hot temper, and he was worried that Liu Erlong would rush directly after seeing Luo Mian. Okay, I will obey your command. Liu Erlong nodded and agreed to Long Xiaoyao. Danger, don't be anxious. When our Xiaoyao sect develops to the point where it can annihilate Wuhun Palace, I will let you kill Jin Daoliu and Jin Zunji with your own hands. Before that, what you need to do is to practice well. Don't be blinded by hatred, be affected by the spiritual thoughts of the Rakshasa god on the realm of the slain god, and accept the Rakshasa god's divine test for the sake of strength, so as to become a person. Become a killing machine. I believe your parents don't want you to become a killing machine. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said to Bibi Dong again, and at the same time walked towards Bibi Dong. Through the eye of insight, Long Xiaoyao discovered that just after he told Bibi Dong the news about her parents, Bibi Dong's anger and hatred caused the Rakshasa god in Bibi Dong's god of killing domain to start to move. Get up and start to influence Bibi Dong. At this moment, Bibi Dong's brown eyes became cloudy and dark, looking a bit scary. Long Xiaoyao knew that according to the original plot, Bibi Dong developed a desire for revenge after being tainted by Jin Zunji, and was affected by the Rakshasa god's spiritual thoughts mixed in the realm of the god of death. Later, Bibi Dong took advantage of Jin Zunji to be seriously injured by Tang Hao, swallowed Jin Zunji, opened the 9 tests of Rakshasa god, and succeeded to the throne of Rakshasa god. Long Xiaoyao was worried that if he didn't remind and help Bibi Dong now, Bibi Dong would be affected by the Rakshasa god's spiritual thoughts like before and take the Rakshasa god's test. What? Everyone was shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words. Because they couldn't see that the Rakshasa god's spiritual thoughts mixed with Bibi Dong's god of killing domain were actually ready to move. Bibi Dong just felt that there was a special power that was rapidly amplifying her desire for revenge and making her thirst for power. She had no idea that this was the Rakshasa god's spiritual thoughts affecting her. Buzz! Long Xiaoyao came to Bibi Dong,
pressed Bibi Dong's fragrant shoulder with his left hand, pressed Bibi Dong's shank point and Kihei point with his index finger and thumb, and injected his Harikaf aura into Bibi Dong's body. The soul power is used to suppress the spiritual thoughts of the Rakshasa god. Ugh, the Rakshasa god felt that Long Xiaoyao wanted to prevent him from influencing Bibi Dong, and resisted fiercely, causing Bibi Dong to feel great pain and couldn't help but let out a harsh scream, with a look of pain on his face. Sister Danger, teacher, Ah Yin, Liu Long, Xiao Wu, Ho Yat, Sea Witch, Hu Lina, Ziyu and Du Yan heard Bibi Dong suddenly scream in pain, and their expressions became painful. They were all very worried about Bibi Dong. They all wanted to go up and see Bibi Dong's situation. Yuena and Bo Saixi both used their vast mental power to discover that Long Xiaoyao was suppressing the Rakshasa god's spiritual thoughts, but neither said anything nor went to check to prevent interference with Long Xiaoyao. Don't go there, Xiaoyao is helping second sister Dong suppress the Rakshasa god's spiritual thoughts. Don't affect them. Yuena and Bo Saixi immediately stretched out their hands to stop Ah Yin, the other girls, and Ziyu. After hearing Yuena's words, Ah Yin, the other girls and Ziyu stopped going up and talking, and just watched with concern. The Rakshasa god is only a first-level god, and it only has a little bit of divine thought. And Maodo is the ancestor of Kilin, and he is several levels higher than the Rakshasa god. The Rakshasa god's spiritual thoughts are completely unable to withstand Maodo's aura. However, because Long Xiaoyao is now only equivalent to a young calf, and his cultivation level is only level, he is still unable to destroy the Rakshasa god's spiritual thoughts, but it is more than enough to suppress the seal. Under everyone's gaze, Bibi Dong stopped screaming in a short while, and her eyes gradually regained their clarity and turned brown again. Long Xiaoyao has completely suppressed and sealed the Rakshasa god's spiritual thoughts. Xiaoyao actually suppressed and sealed the Rakshasa god's spiritual thoughts so quickly. Great. Seeing this scene, Yuena and Bo Saixi were very surprised, but like Ah Yin and other girls and Ziyu, they were very happy and finally relieved. End of this chapter? Chapter 209 Comforting Bibi Dong and Liu Long. Thank you, Xiaoyao. Bibi Dong thanked Long Xiaoyao. She could feel that the Rakshasa god's spiritual thoughts that were expanding her desire for revenge were now completely suppressed by Long Xiaoyao. There's no need to be so polite between us, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bibi Dong, while also letting go of Bibi Dong's shoulders and abdomen. Danger, you have to remember that your talent is extremely good. Even if you don't have to take the test from a god, you can still break through the 100th level and become a god through your own efforts, and you will definitely be more powerful than those gods. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said to Bibi Dong with great certainty. What? Everyone, including Bibi Dong himself, was shocked to hear Long Xiaoyao's affirmation. As we all know, if you want to break through level, and become a god, there are two ways. The first one is to believe in the gods and inherit the gods. The second is to become a believer and create a god. But if you want to break through level, and become a god, there is actually another way, Long Xiaoyao continued, and at the same time walked back to the stove, continuing to cook while continuing. Is there another way? Except for Bo Saixi, everyone was shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words and looked at Long Xiaoyao curiously. Bo Saixi was also looking at Long Xiaoyao. That is to understand and master one or several laws of heaven and earth. Everything in the world has its own rules. Immediately afterwards, while Long Xiaoyao was cooking, he explained to Yin, the other girls and Ziyu what the laws of heaven and earth were, and how to use the laws of heaven and earth to break through the 100th level and become a god. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's explanation, except for Bo Saixi, even Yuena was extremely shocked. However, they all believed Long Xiaoyao's words and knew that Long Xiaoyao was not talking nonsense. Now, although your cultivation level is at the level of God King, you have only comprehended the laws of water, fire, earth, wind, light, darkness, space, creation and destruction, and you have only been able to mobilize these laws. You have not completely mastered them, master. If you can master all these laws, you will definitely become more powerful than you are now. You can even heal your old injuries without my help. You can even break through to the God King level, Long Xiaoyao said to Yuena with certainty. Well, I will try my best to master these laws of heaven and earth. Yuena nodded. She now knew which aspect she should practice in. Ah Yin and other girls and Ziyu were extremely shocked when they heard what Long Xiaoyao and Yuena said, especially Bo Saixi, because they didn't expect Yuena to understand so many laws of heaven and earth. Yiner, Danger, Longer, Awaya, see which, your current levels have not yet reached the point where you can feel the laws of heaven and earth, so your main practice now is to improve your level. At the same time, you can also feel the laws of heaven and earth that are most suitable for you. How to try to understand this law of heaven and earth. This will be of great help to your future cultivation, Long Xiaoyao said to Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Long, Huoya and see which. Okay, hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Long, Huoya and see which all nodded, and they also knew how they should practice next. Zitter just needs to understand and master the laws of the sea now, Long Xiaoyao said to Bo Saxi again. Bo Saxi nodded. Xiao Wu, Nana, Ziyu, and Yan Yan need to do most right now, just eat well and study hard. As for comprehending and mastering the laws of heaven and earth, wait until you grow up and reach a sufficient level to comprehend and master them. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said to Xiao Wu, Hulina, Ziyu and Du Guyan. Okay, Xiao Wu, Hulina, Ziyu and Du Guyan all nodded. Okay, Yan Yan, I've already cooked the vegetables. Go and ask your grandpa to come and eat. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said to Du Guyan again. Okay, Du Guyan smiled and nodded, and then went out to ask Du Gubo to come for dinner. After Du Gubo arrived, Long Xiaoyao and his party started to eat. During the meal, except for Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong who were a little absent-minded, everyone was devouring their food. Just after finishing the meal, Du Gubo took the lead to say goodbye and continued to track the backlash poison in his body. Xiaoyao, I'm a little tired. I'm going back to my room to rest first. As soon as Du Gubo walked out of the small villa, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong stood up almost at the same time and said to Long Xiaoyao at the same time. Ah Yin and other girls and Xiao all knew that the reason why Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong were so absent-minded was because nothing Long Xiaoyao told them before did not stop Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong. Wait for me, I'm a little tired too, I'll go rest with you. Long Xiaoyao also stood up and said to Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong were waiting for Long Xiaoyao. They knew that Long Xiaoyao was trying to comfort them, and they really needed Long Xiaoyao's comfort now, so they all stopped and waited for Long Xiaoyao. Yiner, Netter, Xiao Wu, Nana, Ziyu, you take Natter, Huoyat, see which and Yan Yan to play mahjong and fight landlords, and then go to bed after 10 o'clock, Long Xiaoyao instructed. Play mahjong, fighting the landlord, Bo Saxi, Awaya, see which and Du Guyan heard Long Xiaoyao's words and were very curious about what playing mahjong and fighting landlords was about. Okay, Ah Yin, Yuena, Xiao Wu, Hulina and Ziyu nodded in unison. They all knew that Long Xiaoyao was going to comfort Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong, but they didn't stop Long Xiaoyao. Let's go. Long Xiaoyao took Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong's hands, walked upstairs with Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong, and entered a room. On the first floor of the small villa, Ah Yin, the other girls, and Xiao began to play exciting games of mahjong and fighting landlords. Danger, Longer, if you have anything to say, or if you want to cry, just say it and cry. There are only 3 of us here. After entering the room and closing the door, Long Xiaoyao said to Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong with concern. Xiaoyao. Woo. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bibi Dong jumped directly into Long Xiaoyao's arms, buried her head in Long Xiaoyao's chest, and cried sadly. Because Bibi Dong never expected that Jin's Unji, whom she had respected as her father for so many years, would actually be her enemy who killed her parents. How could she not be sad? She held back from crying just now because there were too many people and there were children like Xiao Wu, Hulina, Ziyu and Du Guyan. She didn't want to lose her composure in front of them. Xiaoyao, Liu Erlong just wanted to tell Long Xiaoyao about the hardships and grievances she had suffered since childhood, but when she saw Bibi Dong crying so sadly, she didn't know what to say for a while. Long Xiaoyao hugged Liu Erlong into his arms without saying a word. He also hugged Bibi Dong, hugging Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong tightly. Wow, being hugged by Long Xiaoyao and feeling Long Xiaoyao's warmth, Liu Erlong couldn't help crying anymore with Bibi Dong. Long Xiaoyao just hugged Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong tightly, saying nothing and doing nothing, letting the tears of Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong wet his robe. Because he knew that he didn't need to do anything now, he just needed to be by Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong's side and give Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong a warm embrace. After crying for a while, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong finally recovered and raised their heads. Xiaoyao, I want it. Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong begged Long Xiaoyao that they hoped Long Xiaoyao would help them forget their troubles. It is good. After hearing Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong's request, Long Xiaoyao picked up Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong without saying a word, walked directly to the bed, and put Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong on the bed. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong's bodies lit up with sacred white light. Yet, end of this chapter. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 210 Arriving at Xian City. The next morning, the sun rose. After having breakfast together, Long Xiaoyao asked Douluo to continue to guide the backlash poison in his body through the ice and fire eyes. Moreover, Long Xiaoyao also asked Douluo to guide him, and now set up a poison array around the ice and fire eyes to prevent outsiders from entering the ice and fire eyes. And Bo Saixi knew that even if she, Aoya, and the sea witch didn't go with Long Xiaoyao to save Yaosiki, Long Xiaoyao would still be able to save Yaosiki. Bo Saixi understood that her most important task now was to go to Poseidon Island and lie to Poseidon that there was no soul beast with bloodline power more powerful than Dragon God on Douluo continent. And she also said that she met the representatives of the God of Angels and the God of Xiao, Jin Daoliu and Tang Chen. Because both Jin Daoliu and Tang Chen wanted to do evil to her, they seriously injured the spokesperson of the God of Angels and killed the spokesperson of the God of Xiao to prevent the gods from the God realm from coming to Douluo continent because they had not received the news for a long time. Moreover, if Bo Saixi now wants to understand and master the laws of the sea, it will be easier to return to Poseidon Island and understand and master them on the sea. So Bo Saixi, Aoya and Sea Witch said goodbye to Long Xiaoyao and his party, and returned to Poseidon Island. As for Xiao Wu, Hulina, Ziyu and Du Yan, because they were still young, Long Xiaoyao was going to save people, and they might cause trouble if they went, so they chose to stay in the Eye of Ice and Fire. Gu Yuna's combat power was greatly reduced due to the injuries in her body. Although she was still more than enough to deal with the title Douluo, she believed that Long Xiaoyao could save Yaosiki even if she didn't go with him. Moreover, if Gu Yuna takes action, it is very likely that the gods in the God realm will sense it. The ice and fire eyes were suitable for Gu Yuna's recovery and for her to master the laws of heaven and earth that she now understood, so she also stayed in the ice and fire eyes. In order to kill Yu Luomian with his own hands, Liu Erlong chose to go with Long Xiaoyao to get Yaosiki. Now that Jin Daoliu was injured, Long Xiaoyao was no longer afraid that people from Wuhun Palace would discover their whereabouts. Ah Yin followed Long Xiaoyao, and his training speed was even faster than the training speed in the ice and fire eyes. Although Bibi Dong can practice faster in the ice and fire eyes than with Long Xiaoyao. But Bibi Dong misses Long Xiaoyao very much, and wants to stay with Long Xiaoyao and help Long Xiaoyao even more. Long Xiaoyao also missed Ah Yin and Bibi Dong very much, so he took Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong and flew to Xian City in the Little Hornet. That night, the bright moon was in the sky. Xian City, Xian Chamber of Commerce General Headquarters, Yaosiki's room. Tomorrow is the day when I am forced to get married. Will you come to save me? Yaosiki sat alone by the window, looking thoughtfully at the moon outside the window and talking to himself. Her eyes lost their previous charming look, and she looked very haggard. On the table in the middle, there was a large table full of cold food, which had not even been touched. Elder sister, I am back. At this moment, Yao Sailing's voice came vaguely from outside the door. Xiling, hearing Yao Sailing's call. Yaosiki's eyes lit up, he stood up immediately, and walked to her door expectantly. Squeak. Xiling, Yaosiki opened her door directly. She was a little disappointed when she saw that only Yao Sailing was walking quickly towards her room. Miss Siki, you can't go out. As soon as Yaosiki opened the door, the two guards outside the door used one hand to stop Yaosiki. At this time, Yao Sailing had already arrived at Yaosiki's door, panting. Master Sailing, the Great Elder has an order. No one is allowed to enter or leave Miss Siki's room without his permission. The two guards outside the door stopped Yao Sailing again. What? Even if I, my biological brother, come to see my sister, do I need to get the permission of the Great Elder first?
Is the head of our Yao family my father or the great elder? After taking a breath, Yao Xiling coldly asked the two guards. Get out of the way now. Immediately afterwards, Yao Xiling coldly shouted to the two guards. The two guards looked at me and I looked at you, but they still put their hands down. Sister, I have good news for you. Yao Xiling walked into Yao Siki's room and said to Yao Siki with a smile. Hearing Yao Xiling's words and seeing Yao Xiling's smile, Yao Siki rekindled hope. Wait, come in first and talk, squeak. Yao Siki quickly welcomed Yao Xiling into the room, pulled Yao Xiling into the inner room, and then closed the window. Okay, tell me, what good news do you have? Yao Siki asked Yao Xiling expectantly. Sister, first of all I want to say sorry to you. I explained your current situation to Mr. Long and asked him to save you. Yao Xiling first apologized to Yao Siki with an apologetic look on his face. No, Yao Siki immediately denied it. I should be the one to say sorry. I took advantage of you, because I know you will beg Mr. Long for me. Sorry. Immediately afterwards, Yao Siki apologized to Yao Xiling. Since you know that I will beg Mr. Long, why do you still ask me to go to Mr. Long? If you want me to ask Mr. Long to save you, you can tell me clearly. Why do you still ask me not to explain your current situation to Mr. Long? Yao Xiling asked puzzledly. I really hope Mr. Long will come to save me, because I don't want to be a tool used by our Yao family to get married, and I don't want to marry you Luomian, but if I say it clearly, the great elder and others will definitely not let you go to see Mr. Long on my behalf, nor will they let my people go to see Mr. Long. They may even send people to kill Mr. Long. That will offend me. Mr. Long's. That's why I deliberately said I wouldn't let you explain my situation to Mr. Long, Yao Siki explained. So it is. Only then did Yao Xiling suddenly realize. Sister, you are smart. Yao Xiling showed a naive smile. What did young Master Long say? Will he come to save me? Yao Siki asked Yao Xiling expectantly. Okay, Yao Xiling smiled affirmatively and nodded. What about Mr. Long? Why didn't he come back with you? Yao Siki asked again. Master Long said that he went to find help, but he promised me that he would come before you get married at noon tomorrow, so don't worry. Yao Xiling said directly that he felt that Long Xiaoyao would not lie to him. Hearing Yao Xiling's words, Yao Siki showed a reassuring smile. She believed that Long Xiaoyao would definitely keep his promise and come to save her. Sister, why don't you eat? You're so hungry. Noticing that Yao Siki had become very haggard, and seeing the food on the table that had turned cold but had not been touched, Yao Xiling asked Yao Siki with concerned grunt. Immediately afterwards, Yao Xiling's stomach growled loudly, because he had been traveling for 2 days in a row in order to rush back to tell Yao Siki the news, and he had not eaten all day today. Let's eat together, Yao Siki smiled and said to Yao Xiling. It is good. Yao Xiling smiled and nodded. Then Yao Siki and Yao Xiling started eating together. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, and Liu Erlong had arrived outside Shine City. In order to severely punish Yu Luomian and avenge Liu Erlong and Yao Siki, Long Xiaoyao chose not to scare the snake yet, and planned to wait until noon tomorrow to appear with his true face. So Long Xiaoyao cast illusion and turned into the appearance of young Master Long. At the same time, he asked Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong to all wear veils, enter Shine City together, and stay at the Rose Hotel of Shine Chamber of Commerce. End of this chapter. Chapter 211, So in your eyes, I am a cockroach? Rose Hotel, Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong's rooms. Xiaoyao, go and see Sister Siki first, Ah Yin said to Long Xiaoyao with a pleading tone. Yes, she must be very helpless now. Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong both nodded and said. They knew that Yao Siki must be very helpless now and needed Long Xiaoyao very much. They also believed that Long Xiaoyao was confident of meeting Yao Siki without being exposed. Well, I also need to tell her about tomorrow's plans first, Long Xiaoyao nodded. Then Long Xiaoyao left the room, went to the roof of the Rose Hotel alone, and looked at the Shine Chamber of Commerce inside, where the Yao family was located. Long Xiaoyao directly used the clairvoyance ability of the Eye of Insight and began to look for Yao Siki through the walls of various rooms in the club. Wakao. You are getting stronger and stronger. You are still able to perform such difficult movements, Wakao. While looking for Yao Siki, Long Xiaoyao was forced to see an indescribable scene, which happened in several rooms. Fortunately,
Long Xiaoyao quickly found Yaosiki, so he no longer had to watch that indescribable scene. See no evil, but Long Xiaoyao found that Yaosiki was changing clothes and taking a bath, and he happened to be naked. Although Yaosiki's body and skin were very attractive, he immediately cancelled the see-through function of the Eye of Insight and did not take the opportunity to peek at Yaosiki. If Long Xiaoyao wants to see it, he will wait until he captures Yaosiki's heart and let Yaosiki willingly let him see it, instead of taking a peek now. Long Xiaoyao directly used illusion to hide his aura. Plop. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao immediately called out the Suzuki wings and flew towards the room where Yaosiki was, and flew to the roof of Yaosiki's room. Then Long Xiaoyao was on Yaosiki's roof, waiting for Yaosiki to take a bath. Yaosiki didn't know anything about this and went directly into the tub to take a bath, looking forward to Long Xiaoyao's arrival tomorrow. After about half an hour, Yaosiki took a shower, dried himself, and put on a loose red pajamas. Call out, "Yo! Miss Yaosiki." Just when Yaosiki had just put on his robe, Long Xiaoyao was confirming for the third time whether Yaosiki had taken a bath. He saw that Yaosiki had already put on his robe, so he flew directly from the window. He entered Yaosiki's room and greeted Yaosiki with a smile. What? Yaosiki had no idea that Long Xiaoyao would suddenly jump into her room from her window, and she couldn't help but scream. Whoosh! Don't call, it's me. Long Xiaoyao ran directly to Yaosiki, hugged Yaosiki with his left hand, covered Yaosiki's jade mouth with his right hand, and said to Yaosiki at the same time, Long Xiaoyao. Seeing that the person coming was Long Xiaoyao, Yaosiki was shocked, confused, and at the same time very happy. At this moment, Long Xiaoyao's face was only less than 5 centimeters away from Yaosiki's face. Plop, plop, Yaosiki looked at Long Xiaoyao, who was so close, and being held by Long Xiaoyao and covering his mouth, Yaosiki's heart beat rapidly, his pretty face turned red, and he felt very nervous. Yaosiki was only so close to boys when he was playing with a Yaosaling when he was a child. And since she became sensible, she has never been so close to Yaosaling, let alone to another man. Now that Yaosiki is so close to Long Xiaoyao, she feels very shy. However, Yaosiki stopped screaming after discovering that the person coming was Long Xiaoyao. Boom boom boom. Miss, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? At this moment, the maid who was waiting for Yaosiki to take a bath outside the door so that she could pour the bath water for Yaosiki heard Yaosiki's screams and kept banging on the door. At the same time, she asked Yaosiki concernedly, Kideo. Hearing the maid's call, Long Xiaoyao let go of Yaosiki's jade mouth so that Yaosiki could answer. I'm fine, I suddenly found a cockroach, I was just shocked, Yaosiki shouted loudly to the maid outside the door. Cockroach? How could that happen? I help you clean your room every day. The maid outside the door felt very puzzled. Would you like me to go in and help you catch it? Immediately afterwards, the maid outside the door asked about the medicine. No need, it's hiding now. You'd better wait until I take a shower and then come in and catch it. Yaosiki quickly shouted that she could not let her maid in now, otherwise Long Xiaoyao would be exposed. It is good, the maid outside the door replied respectfully, and then said nothing more. So in your eyes, I am a cockroach? Long Xiaoyao smiled softly and asked Yaosiki. No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant, the situation was urgent just now, and I really couldn't think of a better reason, so I had to say there were cockroaches. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Yaosiki felt extremely nervous. He quickly denied and explained that she was very worried that Long Xiaoyao would think that she thought he was a cockroach. Ha. When Long Xiaoyao saw Yaosiki's nervous look, he couldn't help laughing, and at the same time he let go of Yaosiki. Of course Long Xiaoyao knew that Yaosiki didn't think he was a cockroach. The reason why he said this was to tease Yaosiki and see Yaosiki's reaction. You are so bad. Seeing Long Xiaoyao's smile, Yaosiki understood that she was teased by Long Xiaoyao, and couldn't help scolding Long Xiaoyao, but there was no anger in her tone, but a bit shy. Because Yaosiki was very happy in his heart and couldn't help but smile. At the same time, he was also very shy and lowered his head, not daring to look directly into Long Xiaoyao's eyes. Do you like me? Long Xiaoyao smiled and asked Yaosiki directly. Although he could see that Yaosiki liked him a little, he still needed to hear Yaosiki say it himself. Okay, Yaosiki didn't expect that Long Xiaoyao would ask so directly, but she still blushed and nodded. Yaosuke already liked Long Xiaoyao a little before, but now that she saw that Long Xiaoyao was willing to come directly to save her, she liked Long Xiaoyao even more. "Do you like me?" Yaosuke raised his head, looked into Long Xiaoyao's eyes, and asked Long Xiaoyao expectantly. Yaosuke is a smart person. She knows that Long Xiaoyao came to save her, most likely not because he likes her, but because he thinks she and the Yao family behind her are useful. He doesn't want her to marry into the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, but he just wants her to become Long Xiaoyao's pawn. Duan Yaosuke needed Long Xiaoyao's answer. She wanted to see what Long Xiaoyao felt about her. Okay, Long Xiaoyao didn't say too much, just nodded affirmatively, and then directly hugged Yaosuke into his arms, hugged Yaosuke tightly, and gave Yaosuke a warm embrace. Long Xiaoyao knew that no matter how much he said to Yaosuke now, nothing could express his feelings better than giving Yaosuke a warm embrace. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's answer, being hugged tightly by Long Xiaoyao, and feeling Long Xiaoyao's strong chest, Yaosuke felt very relieved, showed a happy smile, and hugged Long Xiaoyao's waist, tightly. He hugged her and refused to let go for a long time. End of this chapter? Chapter 212. The wedding team arrives. Master Long, how did you get in? Holding Long Xiaoyao's waist and leaning into Long Xiaoyao's arms, Yaosuke asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. Although the Yao family is not a big martial arts family, there are still several Soul Saint level experts. And tomorrow is the day when Yaosuke is forced to get married. The Yao family can be said to be crowded and heavily guarded, especially Yaosuke's room. Yaosuke was very curious as to how Long Xiaoyao entered her room quietly. "Kir, do you still call me young Master Long now?" Long Xiaoyao hugged Yaosuke tightly and asked with a gentle smile. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Yaosuke's pretty face turned even redder, and the corners of her mouth raised uncontrollably, revealing a shy but happy smile. Happy, Yaosuke opened her jade lips and called Long Xiaoyao with a smile. "Ah." Long Xiaoyao smiled and said "Xiaoyao, how did you get in?" Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao simply and clearly explained to Yaosuke how he came in, and that he had found Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong as helpers, and explained that Liu Erlong and Luo me in relationship, and plans to help Yaosuke tomorrow. "Miss, haven't you finished taking a shower? You've been taking a shower for an hour." Just when Long Xiaoyao had just finished telling Yaosuke his plan to help Yaosuke, the voice of the maid outside the door rang. "Okay, I'm getting dressed now, please wait for me a little longer," Yaosuke shouted towards the door. "Okay, it's time for me to leave. You can follow our plan tomorrow." Long Xiaoyao let go of Yaosuke, held Yaosuke's arms, looked down at Yaosuke, and gave instructions. Yaosuke looked up at Long Xiaoyao, smiled and nodded. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao did not leave immediately, but slowly approached Yaosuke's pretty face. Plop, plop, Yaosuke watched Long Xiaoyao getting closer and closer to her. Her pretty face turned redder and she felt very shy. Her heartbeat suddenly accelerated, as if she was about to jump out of her chest. Yaosuke felt that Long Xiaoyao was planning to kiss her, but she did not resist because she was willing to dedicate her first kiss to Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao didn't waste too much time and kissed Yaosuke's jade lips directly. This was the first time Yaosuke was kissed by Long Xiaoyao. He felt very nervous and shy, and his body became a little stiff. However, she felt very comfortable and at ease when she was kissed by Long Xiaoyao, and she allowed Long Xiaoyao to kiss her. "Don't worry, I will take care of everything tomorrow." After releasing Yaosuke's jade lips, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Yaosuke. Then, without waiting for Yaosuke to answer, Long Xiaoyao directly called out the Suzuka wings, flew away from the window, and rushed back to the room where Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, and Liu Erlong had just opened. Yaosuke looked out the window, put his jade hand on her jade lips, and showed a happy smile. "Miss, are you dressed?" Hearing the words of the maid outside the door, Yaosuke adjusted her clothes and tried to regain her composure, but she still couldn't help but reveal a happy smile on her face. "Get dressed, come in, squeak." "Miss, where did that cockroach hide?" A young and beautiful maid came in and asked about medicine. "What?" Yaosuke didn't react for a while. "Didn't you just say there were cockroaches in your room?" "Oh, that cockroach." Only then did Yaosuke react. It had flown away from the window. Yaosuke looked out the window,
The smile on his face became even happier and brighter. Flight away from the window, the maid looked at the window with a question mark on her face. Xiaoyao, how is Sister Siki? Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong asked concernedly when they saw Long Xiaoyao coming back. No problem, Long Xiaoyao made an okay gesture with his right hand and said with a smile. Great, the three women felt relieved. Yiner, I miss you so much. Long Xiaoyao directly picked up Ah Yin in a princess hug and walked straight to the big bed on the side. Ah Yin did not resist during the process, and even showed a happy smile, because she also missed Long Xiaoyao very much. Ah Yin finally met Long Xiaoyao last night, but for the sake of Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong, Ah Yin held back. Xiaoyao, Sister Yin, I'm going out first, Bibi Dong reluctantly said to Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. I'm out too, Liu Erlong also said reluctantly. It's not that they don't want Long Xiaoyao, but they had Long Xiaoyao all to themselves last night. They are a little embarrassed to fight Long Xiaoyao with Ah Yin tonight. Stop, Long Xiaoyao stopped Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong, and at the same time gently placed Ah Yin on the big bed. Then Long Xiaoyao ran straight towards Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong, hugged Bibi Dong's slender waist with his left hand, hugged Liu Erlong's small waist with his right hand, and hugged Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong at the same time. None of you can escape tonight. Then Long Xiaoyao carried Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong directly to the big bed. Buzz! Immediately afterwards, the bodies of Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, and Liu Erlong lit up with sacred and noble light. Noon the next day, close to noon. The place where the Xian Chamber of Commerce belongs is all decorated with lights and colorful decorations. Red lanterns are hung everywhere and red happy words are posted everywhere. The Xian Chamber of Commerce was even more crowded. Most of them were partners of the Xian Chamber of Commerce, and they all came to congratulate them. Others came to rescue Xiaosiki, including Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong. Like everyone else, they were all waiting for the wedding team from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family to arrive. However, their purpose is completely different from others. Dang, 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 la la la. At this moment, the sound of gongs, drums and suona came over. The wedding team of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family arrived, headed by Yuluo Mian, who was wearing a red robe and groom's uniform and riding a big horse. He looked to be in his 50s or, with gray hair on his temples and a proud smile on his face. The head of the Yao family, the elder Yao, the grand elder and other senior Yao family officials saw that the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family's wedding team was coming, and they all stood up to prepare to welcome her. Seeing Yuluo Mian's proud look from a distance, Liu Erlong was furious. She clenched her fists and wished she could rush up and beat Yuluo Mian to death with her own hands. Don't worry, Long Xiaoyao held Liu Erlong's jade hand. Ah Yin on the other side also held Liu Erlong's jade hand. We will make sure he gets the punishment he deserves, Bibi Dong said to Liu Erlong. Liu Erlong nodded heavily. At the same time, in Xiaosiki's room, Xiaosiki was calmly putting on her makeup in front of the bronze mirror. It's over. It's over. The wedding team of the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex family has arrived. Why hasn't young Master Long arrived yet? Hearing the sound of gongs, drums and suonas coming from outside, Yao Xiling, who came to see Xiaosiki, was so nervous that he paced back and forth, not knowing what to do. Brother, don't worry, Xiaosiki stood up and said to Yao Xiling with a smile. Then Xiaosiki wore red and black tights, black stockings on her legs, and black high heels and walked out. Sister, wait for me. Yao Xiling was a little confused, so he followed immediately. Miss, you came out on your own? And why didn't you change into wedding clothes? The maids waiting outside the door were extremely surprised when they saw that Xiaosiki had not changed into wedding clothes. It's okay, no need to change, Xiaosiki just said lightly, and then continued to walk outside. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 213 Kyank Sunji comes to snatch the bride. After a while, the wedding team of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family arrived at the gate of Xian Chamber of Commerce. The people beating gongs and drums suddenly stopped, and Yuluo Mian also got off the horse. All the senior officials of the Yao family came forward to greet him. Master Yao, oh no, I should call you father-in-law now. My father-in-law, mother-in-law, and son-in-law are polite. Yuluo Mian smiled and said to Xiaosiki's parents. A good son-in-law does not need to be polite. Xiaosiki's parents showed a superficial smile and said to Yuluo Mian with a smile.
Yaosuke's parents were really unhappy because they knew that Luomian was older than them and could be Yaosuke's father. And they also knew that Yaosuke didn't want to marry Luomian at all, if it weren't for the fact that the Yao family was not the opponent of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. And basically all the senior officials of the Yao family are better than them. If Yaosuke is married to Luomian, they will not agree to marry Yaosuke to Luomian. Second Master, we have been waiting for you for a long time, and you are finally here. The elder of the Yao family immediately smiled and said to Luomian. The great elder is polite. Where's Miss Yaosuke? Is she ready? Luomian asked with a smile. Yaosuke is ready. I'm just waiting for you, the second master, to come and take her out. Before Yaosuke's parents could speak, the great elder spoke first. The eldest elder hopes that Luomian will marry Yaosuke quickly, so that no one among the younger generation of the Yao family can compete with his eldest grandson for the position of future head of the Yao family. Okay, take me in, Luomian said with a smile that he couldn't wait to marry Yaosuke home. No need, I'm already out. At this moment, Yaosuke walked out step by step wearing black high heels and said loudly at the same time. And Yaosuke followed closely behind Yaosuke. What's the situation? Why did Miss Yaosuke come out on her own? Everyone was very confused and surprised when they saw Yaosuke walking out in a red and black tights. Because according to the steps of getting married, Yaosuke should have put on her wedding dress and waited in her boudoir for Luomian to pick her up. But not only did Yaosuke come out on his own, but he also didn't wear a wedding dress, leaving everyone unaware of what Yaosuke planned to do. Of course, except for Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Long, because this isn't their plan. Does it mean that Miss Yaosuke doesn't plan to marry Luomian? Probably. After all, at Luomian's age, he can be Miss Yaosuke's father. How could Miss Yaosuke be willing to marry Luomian? SHH. Keep your voice down. Do you want to die? Everyone started talking about it. Miss Yaosuke, what do you mean? Luomian's face became unhappy, and he asked Yaosuke angrily. Second master, don't be angry. Siki is joking with you. Without waiting for Yaosuke to answer, the great elder took the lead and said to Luomian with a smile. Siki, don't mess around. Go back quickly and change into your wedding dress, and then wait in your boudoir for the second master to pick you up. Immediately afterwards, the great elder's face turned cold and he shouted at Yaosuke in a commanding tone. Dang, 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 la la la. As soon as the great elder finished speaking, before Yaosuke could speak, the sound of gongs, drums and suinas came from a distance again. Everyone looked for information curiously and saw another wedding group walking towards the Shrine Chamber of Commerce. The leader was Jin's Unji, who was wearing a red robe and a groom's uniform, but was missing one right hand, riding on a big horse. Chihiro disease, the Pope of Wuhun Palace. Everyone was shocked when they saw this scene, including Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Long. No one expected that Jin's Unji would come at this time, wearing a groom's clothes and leading a wedding team. What is the Pope of Wuhun Palace doing here? Everyone was looking at Jin's Unji and his wedding team, and wanted to know what kind of medicine was sold in Jin's Unji's gourd. Is the Pope of Wuhun Palace here to steal the bride? It seems that Wuhun Palace is planning to start a fight with the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex family. There's a good show to watch. Some people speculated that Jin's Unji was here to steal the bride, and he was ready to watch a show. Chihiro disease, Bibi Dong looked at Jin's Unji from a distance, and was suddenly filled with anger. She clenched her jade hands tightly, and wanted very much to rush over and kill Jin's Unji to avenge her parents. Don't be impulsive, Danger. Let's just wait and see what happens. Xiaoyao took Bibi Dong's jade hand in time and persuaded Bibi Dong. Don't worry, since he dared to come here and was encountered by us, I will not let him leave alive today, Xiaoyao assured Bibi Dong. Yes, Sister Danger, let's see what's going on first. Ah Yin grabbed Bibi Dong's other jade hand and said to Bibi Dong. Yes, Sister Danger. Long also followed suit. Bibi Dong nodded. She resisted the urge to rush forward and kill Jin's Unji with her own hands. She and Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, and Long quietly watched what Jin's Unji wanted to do. Kyank Sunji, what do you mean? Luomian asked Kyank Sunjideo angrily, and at the same time, he became a little panicked. Because Luomian knew that although the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon family was the second sect in the world, there was a big gap between it and Wuhun Palace. Although Kyank Sunji is now missing one hand, Yu Luomian knows that Kaiang Sunji is a level 95 title Douluo. As the saying goes, a lean camel is bigger than a horse. Yu Luomian knew that even if Jin Zunji lost one hand, he would not be Jin Zunji's opponent. What's more, Yu Luomian also saw that there was a title Douluo on both sides of Jin Zunji as a guard. Jin Zunji stopped the horse and then raised his only remaining left hand. Seeing Jin Zunji's order, all the wedding brigade that came with Jin Zunji stopped. The people responsible for beating the gongs and drums also stopped, and the sound suddenly stopped. Nothing, it's just that I have admired Miss Yaosiki for many years, and I can't bear the thought of Miss Yaosiki being forced to marry you, so I came here just to propose marriage to the head of the Yao family, to marry Miss Yaosiki, to let her escape from your clutches and give her happiness, Jin Zunji said with a serious smile. Of course he came here not to save Yaosiki, but to get Yaosiki and take the Yao family into his hands. At the same time, it can also destroy the majesty of the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex family. In order to scare the monkeys and let the world know that Wuhun Palace is the overlord of Douluo continent, so as to better win over other forces and prepare for the future fight against Long Xiaoyao and Long Xiaoyao's back. Prepare for the strength? What? Everyone was shocked when they heard Jin Zunji's words. They didn't expect Jin Zunji to say such words. But everyone is a smart person, and they all know that Jin Zunji has come up with such a big battle, and he is definitely not just here to save Yaosiki. Are you here to steal a bride? Yu Luomian was so angry that he gritted his teeth and questioned Jin Sunji Dao. Of course not, I made it very clear just now, but if you think so, there's nothing I can do about it, Jin Zunji said with a proud smile. Seeing Jin Zunji's proud face, Yu Luomian felt extremely angry, but there was nothing he could do about it. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 214 Jin Zunji's threat. Master Yao, Mrs. Yao, I have made it very clear just now. I believe you should also understand the purpose of my trip here. Jin Zunji no longer paid attention to Yu Luomian, but looked at Yaosiki's parents and said with a smile. Then Jin Zunji pointed to the 6 betrothal gifts he brought over, and continued. This is the betrothal gift I prepared. I promise that after I marry Miss Yaosiki, I will be very kind to her and will not let her suffer the slightest injustice, and our Wuhun Palace will also work closely with the Yao family to protect our Yao family's various businesses. I promise that from now on, no one will dare to embarrass our pharmacist. Immediately afterwards, Jin Zunji assured again seriously. Jin Zunji has directly said that he is our Yao family, because he believes that the Yao family owner and the top leaders of the Yao family will never refuse him, let alone refuse him. On the other hand, Yu Luomian saw that Jin Zunji ignored him and asked Yaosiki to marry Jin Zunji, who had already agreed to marry him, in front of him. He was so angry that he gritted his teeth and clenched his fists, but he just dared to be angry but dare not speak. As the second head of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family, Yu Luomian couldn't see that Jin Zunji chose this time to steal the bride just to scare the monkeys. The Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family and the Yao family are the chickens, and the monkeys are the other people present. If he dared to stop Jin Zunji would definitely kill him and all the people from the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex family present. And if the Yao family dared to refuse, he believed that Jin Zunji would also kill the Yao family with blood. So Yu Luomian didn't say anything. He looked at the Yao family master, wanting to see how the Yao family master would answer. It seems that the Pope of Wuhun Palace is going to take over the Yao family, and we have to use the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex family as an example to let everyone know the consequences of daring to resist the Spirit Hall. The people around him were all leaders of various families, sects, and chambers of commerce. They were all smart people, and they all basically saw Jin Zunji's true purpose. They also looked at Master Yao, wanting to see how Master Yao would answer. Very good. The elders and other senior Yao family officials who couldn't wait to marry Yaosiki heard Jin Zunji's words. Although they also saw Jin Zunji's purpose, they all showed excited smiles and felt very happy. Happy. Because they believe that the Yao family master has also seen Jin Zunji's purpose, and they believe that the Yao family master will agree to marry Yaosiki to Jin Zunji for the sake of the Yao family. They originally wanted to marry Yaosiki, but now they have a relationship with the Wuhun Palace and have received Jin Zunji's promise. How can they not be happy? They also looked at Master Yao, waiting for Master Yao's answer. The head of the Yao family is a little embarrassed, because if he agrees to Jin Zunji, he will offend the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family. Although he will be protected by the Wuhun Palace, he doesn't want to offend the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family. But if he objects, he will offend Jin's Unji, and he may even be bloodbathed by Jin's Unji. The most important thing is that he knows that Jin's Unji is the same age as Yu Luomian, older than him, and can be Yaosiki's father. Thank you, His Majesty the Pope, for your kindness, but I have no intention of marrying you. Just when everyone was looking at the head of the Yao family, Yaosiki loudly answered Kaiangsen Jidao. What? When everyone heard Yaosiki's words, they looked at Yaosiki in great shock. Thank you very much for your kindness, Master Yuer. I don't intend to marry you. Immediately afterwards, Yaosiki looked at Yu Luomian calmly and fearlessly, and said to Yu Luomian calmly but loudly. What? Everyone was even more shocked when they heard Yaosiki's words. Of course, except for Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Long. Because this was part of the plan they had discussed in advance. But it was originally only aimed at Yu Luomian. None of them expected that Jin's Unji would suddenly pop out. However, Long Xiaoyao was not afraid of Jin's Unji, so he just gave an okay gesture to Yaosiki, indicating that Yaosiki should act according to the original plan. Yaosiki, what do you mean? Are you kidding me? Yu Luomian pointed at Yaosiki angrily and said, he just heard that Yaosiki rejected Jin's Unji. He thought Yaosiki was going to marry him, but he didn't expect that his joy was in vain. How dare you refuse me? Kaiangsenji asked Yaosiki coldly. He had no idea that Yaosiki would reject him. It was somewhat beyond his expectation and made him feel very unhappy. His Majesty the Pope, you are in charge. Siki didn't mean that. She was joking with you. Before Yaosiki could answer what Yu Luomian and Jin Sunji said, the great elder stood up and said to Yu Luomian and Jin Sunji with a smile. Siki, stop fooling around. I'm not messing around. I'm not kidding. Immediately afterwards, the great elder wanted to persuade Yaosiki. Otherwise the Yao family would have offended the two major forces of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family and Wuhun Palace, and the Yao family would definitely be dead today. But before the great elder finished speaking, Yaosiki interrupted the great elder. You think I don't know that you want to marry me, not because you like me, but you want to get my body, and even more so, do you want to use me to send your people into our Yao family, slowly control the Yao family, and then turn our Yao family into your pocket? Yaosiki stopped paying attention to the elder, looked at Yu Luomian and Jin's Unji, and then spoke directly. And you want to use this to suppress the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex family, show the world the strength of your spirit hall, and make the world fear your spirit hall, so that your spirit hall can expand better. The purpose is to conquer all the forces as soon as possible so that you can resist the person who cut off your right hand in the future. Yaosiki directly stated Jin's Unji's true purpose. And you are so anxious to marry me off. You keep saying it is for my own good, but in fact, isn't it just for the sake of being the head of our Yao family? Immediately afterwards, Yaosiki looked at the great elder and other senior Yao family officials and said angrily. What? Everyone was shocked when they heard Yaosiki's words. They were not shocked by the truth told by Yaosiki, because they could all imagine the truth. What shocked them was that Yaosiki had offended the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, the Wuhun Palace, and the top brass of the Yao family at the same time. What is the difference between this and seeking death? When Yu Luomian heard Yaosiki's words, he didn't know what to say for a moment. Jin Zunji heard Yaosiki's words and looked at Yaosiki with an evil smile. When the great elder heard Yaosiki's words, he felt angry but also helpless and didn't know what to say. Kir, what do you want to do? The head of the Yao family looked at Yaosiki and felt that Yaosiki must have some plan, otherwise Yaosiki would not have said such a thing that drove the Yao family to a dead end. Exactly, at this moment, Jin Zunji spoke, and then he raised his only left hand, extended his index finger, and continued with a smile. You now have two options. First, marry me and become my woman. I can make you the head of the Yao family, and I will fully support the Yao family, but the Yao family must be included in my spirit hall. Second, reject me, then today I will make the Yao family's chickens and dogs stay alive, and I will be removed from the Douluo continent from now on. Immediately afterwards, Jin Zunji extended his middle finger again, and then threatened Yaosiki. Everyone was very surprised when they heard Jin Zunji's words. They didn't expect Jin Zunji's attitude to be so tough. They all looked at Yaosiki, wanting to see how Yaosiki would answer. End of this chapter. Chapter 215, Capturing Yu Luomian with one hand. Third, join us and kill you all, At this moment, Long Xiaoyao dispelled the illusion and transformed into his original appearance. With Ah Yin, who had taken off the veil, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong walked out together, speaking loudly, their words full of confidence. Long Xiaoyao, Bibi Dong, Ah Yin, why are they here? Everyone was extremely shocked when they saw Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong walking out together. Although they didn't know Liu Erlong, they all knew Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong. None of them expected that Long Xiaoyao and his party would actually come, and seemed to be standing with Yao Siki. Long Xiaoyao, Yu Luomian looked at Long Xiaoyao with an angry expression. Because Yu Xiaogang was killed by Long Xiaoyao, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family has been looking for Long Xiaoyao for a long time, but they have never met Long Xiaoyao. Today he finally met Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao, Jin Zunji looked at Long Xiaoyao and recalled the scene when Long Xiaoyao cut off his right hand. Instead of feeling scared, he showed an evil smile. I choose the third. As soon as Long Xiaoyao finished speaking, Yao Siki smiled and said loudly, telling everyone her choice. What? Everyone was shocked when they heard Yao Siki's choice. They did not expect that Yao Siki would choose third place, which was equivalent to choosing to be the enemy of Wuhun Palace and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. Happy, then Yao Siki smiled and walked quickly towards Long Xiaoyao and his party, and came straight to Long Xiaoyao and his party, completely ignoring the shocked looks of the people around him. Why is it Long Xiaoyao? Where is young Master Long? Yao Xiling looked at Long Xiaoyao with a question mark on his face. He still didn't know that Long Xiaoyao was young Master Long. Long Xiaoyao, Master Dragon, I see. Yao Lao looked at Long Xiaoyao, guessed that Long Xiaoyao was Mr. Long, and showed a kind smile. Master Long Xiaoyao actually came to help Kier. No wonder Kier came out without wearing a wedding dress, and you just said those words, and Kier seems to have an unusual relationship with Mr. Long Xiaoyao. When Yao Siki's parents saw this scene, they all smiled and felt relieved. Because they knew that Long Xiaoyao was able to defeat Jin Zunji with one move, and was able to survive the attacks of many soul masters in Wuhan Palace and escape from Jin Daoliu, they felt that Long Xiaoyao should be able to repel Jin Zunji. Zunji Ao. Long Xiaoyao, the great elder and other senior Yao family officials began to feel uneasy when they saw this scene, especially when they saw that the relationship between Long Xiaoyao and Yao Siki seemed to be unusual. Kyank Sunji, you were lucky to survive last time. Today I will beat you to disability and let Danger kill you with his own hands. Let Danger avenge you for killing her parents and deceiving and using her for so many years. Long Xiaoyao pointed at Jin Zunji and said angrily. You Luomian, you are such a heartless man, and you dare to force Kier to marry you. Today I will beat you to a cripple and let Longer kill you with his own hands to avenge her mother and Kier. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao pointed at Yu Luomian and said angrily. Kyank Sunji killed Bibi Dong's parents. And also deceived Bibi Dong. Yu Luomian is a heartless man. When everyone heard Long Xiaoyao's words, they found that the amount of information was a bit too much, and they were all extremely shocked. They all looked at Jin Zunji and Yu Luomian with strange eyes. Okay, Jin Zunji was a little surprised when he heard Long Xiaoyao's words, because not many people knew that he killed Bibi Dong's parents, but Bibi Dong definitely didn't know, and he didn't know how Long Xiaoyao knew. Jin Zunji didn't know that Yu Guan and Ji Yuimia had been killed by Long Xiaoyao, but before Yu Guan was killed, he told Long Xiaoyao the truth about that year. That's nonsense. Yu Luomian, have acted openly and above board throughout my life and have never let anyone down. Don't try to slander me. Yu Luomian felt extremely angry when he heard Long Xiaoyao's words, and said to Long Xiaoyao righteously. Is it? Hearing Yu Luomian's words, Liu Erlong showed a cold smile. Yu Luomian looked at Liu Erlong and felt that Liu Erlong was somewhat familiar, but he really couldn't remember who Liu Erlong was. Then do you remember Liu Yu by Daming Lake? Liu Erlong asked Yu Luomian coldly. By Daming Lake, Liu Yu. After hearing Liu Erlong's words, Yu Luomian began to recall. After reminiscing for a long time, Yu Luomian finally recalled that when he went to the Daming Lake to work, he met a young and beautiful girl. The girl's name was Liu Yu. Back then, Yu Luomian got interested and deceived Liu Yu. After getting Liu Yu's body, he left some gold soul coins for Liu Yu and then left, never looking for Liu Yu again. Now Yu Luomian looked at Liu Erlong and found that Liu Erlong now looked very similar to Liu Yu back then,
which reminded her of Liu Yu again. Could it be? Are you Liu Yu's daughter? Luo Mian asked Liu Erlong excitedly. Shut up, you don't deserve to call my mother's name. Liu Erlong pointed at Luo Mian and yelled at Luo Mian angrily. What? Luo Mian is really a heartless man. That woman is actually Luo Mian's daughter. Everyone was shocked when they saw this scene. Shut up, I am your biological father. How dare you talk to me like this? Didn't your mother teach you etiquette when you were little? Instead of feeling guilty, Luo Mian questioned Liu Erlong in a commanding tone. Luo Mian felt that he and Liu Yu had just had a one-night stand. He had left enough gold soul coins for Liu Yu and felt that he had nothing to do with Liu Yu. He did not expect that Liu Yu actually gave birth to Liu Erlong. However, Luo Mian not only did not feel guilty towards Liu Erlong and Liu Yu, but felt that Liu Erlong was so rude to him, which made him, who had always been in a high position and always respected by others, very unhappy. Whoosh! As soon as Luo Mian finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao directly relied on the law of wind to turn into a white shadow and quickly ran towards Luo Mian. Long Xiaoyao's speed is already very fast. Although he has not yet mastered the law of wind, he has already understood it. After relying on the law of wind, Long Xiaoyao became even faster. Before Luo Mian could react and had no time to escape and activate his martial spirit, he grabbed Luo Mian's neck. Then Long Xiaoyao used Devour All Things to quickly devour Luo Mian's soul power and soul, and at the same time directly lifted Luo Mian up. What? Luo Mian immediately felt extremely painful all over his body, and couldn't help but let out a scream like a slaughtering pig. It was extremely sharp and harsh, and his whole body couldn't help trembling. It looked like he was in extreme pain. Luo Mian wanted to resist, but he was unable to resist at all now. Don't talk to my dragon like that. Long Xiaoyao stared into Luo Mian's eyes and said coldly to Luo Mian. Happy, Liu Erlong smiled happily when he saw Long Xiaoyao taking direct action for her. Why is Long Xiaoyao so fast? Everyone else was extremely shocked when they saw this scene. They didn't expect that Long Xiaoyao would take action directly without a word of disagreement, and as soon as he took action, he would catch Luo Mian like an eagle catching a chicken. Let go of the second boss. Seeing this scene, the people in the wedding team of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family shouted to Long Xiaoyao, and at the same time they rushed towards Long Xiaoyao. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 216 Big Crisis, Chihiraji's True Purpose Happy, Whizzing. Seeing this scene, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong, and Yao Siki ran towards Long Xiaoyao without any hesitation. They wanted to fight side by side with Long Xiaoyao. Boom. If you are not afraid of death, come here. Long Xiaoyao turned to the wedding team of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, exploded his momentum, released his murderous intent, pressed against them, and said coldly at the same time. Suppressed by Long Xiaoyao's momentum and murderous intent, everyone in the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family's wedding team was forced to stop. They felt Long Xiaoyao's killing intent and looked into Long Xiaoyao's eyes as if they were being stared at by a god of death. Their bodies trembled uncontrollably. Cold sweat broke out on their backs and foreheads. They felt extremely frightened and did not dare to continue rushing towards Long Xiaoyao. What's more, he even took several steps back, even wanting to escape. As for the people near Long Xiaoyao, although they were not directly oppressed by Long Xiaoyao's momentum and murderous intent, but when they felt Long Xiaoyao's momentum and murderous intent, they still felt very frightened. They couldn't help but take a few steps back, and cold sweat broke out on their foreheads. I didn't expect that in less than a month, you would actually become stronger. Jin Zunji felt that Long Xiaoyao was now more powerful than when he fought with him before. Instead of feeling afraid, he smiled and said to Long Xiaoyao, "Don't worry. When I kill you Luo Mian, I will come to kill you. You can't run away today." Long Xiaoyao looked at Jin Zunji and said coldly. At this time, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki rushed to Long Xiaoyao's side. They all looked at Jin Zunji and Wuhan Palace's wedding team with vigilance, and prepared to stand shoulder to shoulder with Long Xiaoyao. Preparation for combat. Haha. Ha ha ha. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Jin Zunji did not feel the slightest fear. Instead, he laughed loudly, as if he had heard a big joke. Why are you laughing? Long Xiaoyao asked Kyank Sunji coldly. When he saw Kyank Sunji's calm and proud look, he had an ominous premonition in his heart. He always felt that Kyank Sunji seemed to be prepared. I'm laughing at you for not knowing that I'm about to die, yet you actually say that I'm about to die?
Jin Zunji said directly. Everyone had questions on their faces when they heard Jin Zunji's words, thinking that Long Xiaoyao was bluffing. Because they all know that the strongest person on the scene is Long Xiaoyao, who should be the one who is about to die. Whoosh whoosh. However, at this moment, 4 tall, white-haired old men wearing red robes suddenly appeared in the air from 4 directions, and everyone at the scene was surrounded. And they have all exploded their momentum, pressing against Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki, and are ready for battle. 2 offerings. 3 offerings. 4 offerings. 5 offerings. Why are they here? Bibi Dong looked at the 4 major enshrinements of Wuhun Hall in the sky, feeling the powerful aura of the 4 major enshrinements, and felt very shocked. At the same time, she felt an extremely strong pressure on her body, which was so heavy that she could hardly breathe. What? Ah Yin, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki were all shocked when they heard Bibi Dong's words and felt the powerful momentum of the 4 major offerings. At the same time, they also felt an extremely strong pressure on their bodies, which made them almost breathless. They finally knew why Jin Zunji was so confident just now. What? 4 worshippers came to the Wuhan Palace. No wonder Jin Zunji was so confident just now. The people around him were extremely shocked when they saw this scene, and finally understood why Jin Zunji wasn't panicking at all just now. Feeling the powerful momentum of the 4 major worshippers, they all took several steps back, fearing that the 4 major worshippers would also target them. So it is, looking at the 4 major offerings in the sky, Long Xiaoyao finally understood why Jin Zunji was not panicked at all. Boom. Long Xiaoyao immediately burst out with a more powerful momentum, which was used to help Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki resist the momentum of the 4 major worshippers. Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki suddenly felt that the pressure on their bodies had disappeared, and they immediately felt much more relaxed. However, they did not feel relieved because they all knew that they and Long Xiaoyao were in a desperate situation. I originally wanted to marry Yao Siki first, take over the Yao family, and kill people from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family. This would let you know that I left the Spirit Hall and attract you to come and kill me, then let the 2nd worshipper, the 3rd worshipper, the 4th worshipper and the 5th worshipper who have been following me secretly surround you and kill you, but I didn't expect that you would actually get together with Yao Siki and stand up for her. This also saves me the time of waiting for you to come find me. Seeing that the 4 major worshippers of Wuhun Hall had locked onto Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki, Jin Zunji explained to Long Xiaoyao with a proud smile. I see. After hearing Jin Zunji's words, Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki finally knew Jin Zunji's true purpose. People around him finally knew Jin Zunji's true purpose, and they were all shocked. You really went to great lengths to kill me, Long Xiaoyao smiled on the surface and said to Jin Zunji calmly. In fact, he felt unprecedented pressure in his heart, and sweat even glistened on his forehead. Because if he was alone, he would not be afraid of the current crisis at all. Even if he could not defeat the 4 major worshippers, he could escape at any time. But now that Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki are all by his side, it is difficult for him to escape with them. And even if he could escape with them, he wouldn't escape with them. Because then the people in the Yao family would most likely be killed by Jin Zunji's anger, which would make Yao Siki sad. Long Xiaoyao felt a little regretful now. If he had known earlier, he should have brought Yuena or Bosexi over, so that the current crisis would have been solved. However, Long Xiaoyao knows that there is no regret medicine in this world. Due to the current situation, he can only choose the 4 major enshrinements in the Hard Steel Spirit Hall and desperately protect Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki. You crippled my right hand, how could I let you go? I want you to die here today. Jin Zunji looked at Long Xiaoyao with a cold smile, and said to Long Xiaoyao with a smile. Longer, I will kill you Luo Mian directly. Long Xiaoyao ignored Jin Zunji and said to Liu Erlong. Ah, Liu Erlong nodded. She knew that the situation was very critical now and there was no time for her to kill Yu Luomian with her own hands. Moreover, when Long Xiaoyao killed Yu Luomian, it was equivalent to her killing Yu Luomian. The difference was not too big. Ah! Don't kill, ah! After hearing what Long Xiaoyao and Liu Erlong said, Yu Luomian wanted to ask Long Xiaoyao not to kill him. But before Yu Luomian could finish his words, Long Xiaoyao devoured Yu Luomian's soul, causing Luo Mian to die directly and turn into a corpse that was bleeding from its 7 orifices, never closed its eyes, and died in a very horrific manner. Boom. Then Long Xiaoyao directly let go of Luo Mian's neck and let Luo Mian fall to the ground. Second Master, the wedding team of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family saw Luo Mian fall to the ground, and they were all very worried about Luo Mian, but no one dared to step forward to check Luo Mian's condition, and they were all very afraid of Long Xiaoyao. End of this chapter. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 217. The Yao family is divided and a war is about to begin. Yaosiki, I will give you one last chance. Leave Long Xiaoyao now and agree to marry me, then what I just said will still count. If not, I will not only let you be buried with Long Xiaoyao today, but I will also let the entire Yao family be buried with Long Xiaoyao, and the blood of the Yao family will flow like a river. At this moment, Qianxinji smiled and threatened Yaosiki. If he can get the Yao family, it will be of great help to the Wuhan Palace and make the Wuhan Palace stronger. Jin Zunji still wants to get the Yao family. Siki, please agree to marry His Majesty the Pope. Yes, Siki, otherwise our entire Yao family will face disaster. Do you want our entire Yao family to be buried with Long Xiaoyao? Without waiting for Yaosiki to reply, the great elder and other senior Yao family officials all looked sad and spoke to Yaosiki in a commanding tone. After the 4 major worshippers of Wuhan Palace appeared, they now felt that Long Xiaoyao was bound to die, and they did not want to be buried with Long Xiaoyao. Yaosiki felt a little embarrassed when she heard what the great elder and other senior Yao family officials said. She wanted to fight side by side with Long Xiaoyao, but she didn't want to implicate the Yao family, especially her parents and younger brother. Kir, you don't need to pay attention to the elders and the others. There's no need to worry about the lives of me, your mother, and Linger. Master Long and the others are willing to stand up against the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family and the Spirit Hall for your sake. You can't give up being on the same front with Mr. Long and the others just to survive at this time. We, the Yao family, can't be so ungrateful. In order to survive, we chose to agree to Jin Zunji's rogue request, ignore Mr. Long and the others, and become the puppets of Wuhan Palace. From now on, we will be at the mercy of Wuhan Palace. It's better to fight with Mr. Long against the Wuhan Palace. The worst that can happen is death. It's better than being a dog for the Wuhan Palace. At this moment, the head of the Yao family stood up and spoke loudly to Yaosiki, his face full of determination. What? Everyone was shocked when they heard what Master Yao said. They didn't expect Master Yao to be so tough. Kir, just go ahead and do it. Yaosiki's mother also stood up and said to Yaosiki with a smile, without a trace of fear on her face. Sister, I support you. Yao Xiling also stood up and said to Yaosiki with a smile, but his face was full of fear and his body was even trembling. Miss, I support you too. Yao Lao also stood up and said to Yaosiki with certainty. Father, mother, brother, Yao Lao, thank you. Yaosiki felt very moved when she heard their words, and strengthened her determination to fight side by side with Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong were all moved when they heard their words and smiled. Jin Zunji was a little angry when he heard what they said. He didn't expect that Master Yao and the others were not afraid of death and dared to openly resist him. Master, are you crazy? Don't you want us Yao family to be buried with Long Xiaoyao? You should quickly make Siki agree to His Majesty the Pope's request. However, before Yaosiki could give Jin Zunji a big blow, the great elder and other senior Yao family officials all cried and said to the Yao family leader, their faces full of fear. Shut up, all of you. I am the head of the Yao family. The head of the Yao family roared at the great elder and the others. The great elder and the others were all shocked. They didn't expect that the Yao family master would dare to yell at them. Everyone from the Yao family, if you are afraid of death, you can choose to leave the Yao family now and no longer be members of my Yao family. Those who are not afraid of death can join us, young Master Long and the others, to fight against the people of Wuhan Palace. Immediately afterwards, the head of the Yao family said to the great elder and other senior Yao family members and all the Yao family members. Qianxinji bullied others too much, so I chose to fight against Wuhan Palace.
I also choose to fight against Wuhun Palace." As soon as the Yao family master finished speaking, many Yao family members chose to join the Yao family master to fight against the Wuhun Palace. However, these people are only a minority, less than 1/5 of all pharmacists. 4/5 of the Yao family members stood there blankly, waiting for someone from the Yao family to step forward and lead them away from the Yao family. They all felt that Long Xiaoyao would definitely die, and they did not want to be buried with Long Xiaoyao. Crazy. You must be crazy. The great elder and other senior Yao family officials were extremely shocked when they looked at Yao family master and others, and even thought that Yao family master and others were crazy. "Everyone in the Yao family who doesn't want to die, come with me," the great elder shouted loudly, and then walked straight towards Jin's Unji. How to do? Of course I left with the great elder. I don't want to be buried with Long Xiaoyao. The remaining 4/5 of the Yao family all followed the great elder towards Jin's Unji. "His Majesty the Pope, we are willing to submit to His Majesty the Pope, but we must obey His Majesty the Pope's orders. Please don't kill us, Your Majesty the Pope." The great elder knelt down on one knee directly in front of Jin's Unji and begged Jin's Unji for help. "Please, Your Majesty the Pope, please don't kill us." All the people who came with the great elder also knelt down on one knee and asked Jin's Unji for help. It is good. Seeing this scene, Kyank Sunji smiled. "From today on, you are the head of the Yao family." Kyank Sunji smiled and said to the great elder that all he needed was the Yao family's property. As for who the Yao family's head was, he didn't particularly care. Moreover, the great elder will obviously be more obedient than the Yao family leader, and Jin Zunji is more willing to let the great elder become the Yao family leader. "Thank you, Your Majesty the Pope." When the great elder heard Jin Zunji's words, he smiled excitedly and knelt down directly in front of Jin Zunji. "Ah, get up." When Jin Zunji saw this scene, the smile on his face became even stronger. After hearing Jin Zunji's words, the great elder stood up again. "Great elder, you are asking them to join you and act like dogs for Jin Zunji?" When the Yao family master saw this scene, he felt very uncomfortable in his heart. "That's better than taking them with you to be buried with Long Xiaoyao. At least we are all still alive," the great elder said to the head of the Yao family. "Don't worry, if you choose to follow me, I will definitely not treat you badly, and I will make your medicine family develop even better than it is now." Kyank Sunji smiled and said to the great elder and others, "Thank you, Your Majesty the Pope." After hearing what Jin Zunji said, the great elder and others smiled and said to Jin Zunji, "Uncle Yao, don't feel sorry." They left just in time to take away all the people who were greedy for life and death in the Yao family. The ones left behind are good brothers and sisters who can be trusted. The Yao family will definitely become stronger in the future, Long Xiaoyao comforted Master Yao, his words full of confidence. Since the Yao family leader and the others chose to join forces with Yao Siki and Long Xiaoyao and the others to fight against the Spirit Hall, Long Xiaoyao would certainly help the Yao family in the future and make the Yao family stronger. "Ah," the head of the Yao family nodded. Although he knew what Long Xiaoyao said was right, he felt that it would be difficult for them to survive. "Ha ha ha." After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Jin Zunji burst out laughing. "Long Xiaoyao, do you think you have a future?" Jin Zunji smiled and asked Long Xiaoyao that he felt that Long Xiaoyao could no longer escape, and he was not in a hurry to order the killing of Long Xiaoyao. "You can try, Buzz." After saying that, Long Xiaoyao didn't want to talk nonsense to Jin Zunji anymore and directly activated his soul ring. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 218 Fighting alone against the four major worshippers. Buzz buzz, I saw 8 soul rings, red, 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 rising quickly at Long Xiaoyao's feet. The lifelike shadow of the furry calf also appeared above Long Xiaoyao, exuding a powerful and sacred aura that was awe-inspiring. The God-destroying sword of destruction, which was blood-red and looked like red crystal, also appeared in Long Xiaoyao's right hand. It exuded a powerful and terrifying aura, accompanied by an aura of destruction, which was dawning. There are really 8 red soul rings. What a powerful beast spirit. It's actually much more powerful than the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus spirit. What a powerful weapon spirit. It's actually much more terrifying than the clear sky hammer spirit. The people around him were extremely shocked when they saw the 8 red soul rings on Long Xiaoyao's body, including the Maoder martial spirit and the destruction god-killing sword martial spirit, because they all knew how difficult it was to obtain red soul rings. Feeling the terrifying aura emanating from the Maoder martial spirit and the destruction god-killing sword martial spirit, they couldn't help but take several steps back. Even the 4 major worshippers of the Wuhun Palace, who saw Long Xiaoyao's Mao to Wuhan and 8 soul rings for the first time, were extremely shocked. They also knew that they must not let Long Xiaoyao leave today, otherwise when Long Xiaoyao grows up in the future, Wuhun Palace will be destroyed. What a pity. If Mr. Long is given another few decades to practice, he may be able to become the strongest soul master in Douluo continent, and no one will be able to stop him by then. But now he faces the 4 major worshippers of Wuhun Hall alone. It is almost impossible to defeat them. The people around looked at Long Xiaoyao, and they all felt that it was impossible for Long Xiaoyao to defeat the 4 major worshippers. After all, the gap in level and number of people was too big, and they all felt very sorry for Long Xiaoyao. Yiner, Danger, Longer, Kier, just hold on for a while. I will definitely solve the 4 major sacrifices as soon as possible and then come to help you. Plop. After Long Xiaoyao ordered Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki, he directly summoned the Suzuki wings, then jumped up and flew into the sky, intending to kill the 4 major worshippers of Wuhun Hall first. Because Long Xiaoyao knew that he was now being targeted by the 4 major worshippers, it would be difficult to catch Jin's Unji in front of them. And if he doesn't block the 4 major worshippers, and the 4 major worshippers go to deal with Ah Yin and others, Ah Yin and others will not be able to resist at all. Even if he catches Jin's Unji at that time, it will be of no avail. Okay, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki gritted their teeth and clenched their fists, feeling very uncomfortable and unwilling to do so. They all wanted to fight side by side with Long Xiaoyao and fight against the 4 major worshippers with Long Xiaoyao. But they knew that with their current strength, they would not be able to help Long Xiaoyao deal with the 4 major worshippers. If they did, they would only be holding Long Xiaoyao back. They knew that what they had to do now was not to be caught by Jin's Unji and other people from Wuhun Hall, and not to become the hostages used by Jin's Unji to threaten Long Xiaoyao. The 7th soul skill, the true form of Maodu. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao flew into the sky while performing his 7th soul skill. The shadow of the furry calf above Long Xiaoyao suddenly turned into furry calf armor, which was draped on Long Xiaoyao's body one by one, looking very domineering. Humph. I'm not ashamed to say it, after hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, the 3, 4, and 5 worshippers in the sky all showed disdainful smiles. Although they knew that Long Xiaoyao single-handedly killed Qianjin Douluo and demon-conquering Douluo, they could also feel that Long Xiaoyao's current momentum was comparable to level 97 Super Douluo. But they feel that they now have 3 level 97 Super Douluo and 1 level 98 Super Douluo. They think it is impossible for Long Xiaoyao to kill them. Don't take it lightly. He must have a special trump card. Let's take action together, the leader, Golden Jua Douluo, ordered, although he also felt that it was impossible for Long Xiaoyao to defeat the 4 of them. But when he looked at Long Xiaoyao's Maodu true form and the spirit of the god-killing sort of destruction, especially Long Xiaoyao's 8 red spirit rings, he believed that Long Xiaoyao must have a special and powerful trump card, otherwise Long Xiaoyao would not be so confident rush towards them. It is good, the 3 worshippers, the 4th worshippers, and the 5th worshippers all nodded, feeling that what Golden Jua Douluo said made sense. After all, Long Xiaoyao's talent was so incredible that it was unprecedented, and they all began to take Long Xiaoyao seriously. 4 worshippers, please capture Long Xiaoyao alive. I will kill him with my own hands. At this moment, Jin Zunji said to the 4 major offerings in the sky. It is good, Buzz. The 4 major worshippers activated their martial spirits one after another. I saw 9 soul rings of yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 black and red rising rapidly at the feet of the 2nd enshrined Golden Jua Douluo. And at the feet of 3 offerings, 4 offerings, and 5 offerings, 9 soul rings of yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 and black rose rapidly. Immediately afterwards, above the Golden Jua Douluo, the golden and domineering golden crocodile king martial soul quickly appeared. It looked almost like a crocodile, except that it was golden and exuded an extremely powerful aura. It looked very fierce. Above the 3 offerings, the golden and domineering golden lion king's martial spirit appeared quickly. It looked similar to a male lion, except that it was covered in gold and exuded an extremely powerful aura. It looked very mighty and domineering. Above the 4 altars, the black and domineering dark rhino king martial soul appeared quickly.
It looked similar to rhinoceros, except that it was covered in black and exuded a powerful and strange aura, which looked a bit scary. In the hands of Wu Zongfeng, the red flame spear martial spirit appeared quickly. It was completely red, with complex runes on its body. It was burning with red flames and exuded a powerful and terrifying aura. The second soul skill, Golden Crocodile King Claw. The third soul skill, Golden Lion King Claw. The fourth soul skill, Dark Rhinoceros King Fist. Immediately afterwards, the second worshipper, the third worshipper, and the fourth worshipper performed their second soul skill, third soul skill, and fourth soul skill respectively. I saw extremely sharp Golden Crocodile King Claws suddenly appearing on the hands of the second worshipper. On the hands of the three worshippers, extremely sharp Golden Lion King Claws suddenly appeared. On the hands of the four worshippers, dark Rhinoceros King Gloves suddenly appeared. Whoosh whoosh. Immediately afterwards, the four major worshippers rushed towards Long Xiaoyao with great momentum. Happy, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki saw the four major worshippers rushing towards Long Xiaoyao at the same time, and they all felt nervous for Long Xiaoyao. Ha ha ha, you are dead. Jin Zunji watched the four major worshippers rushing towards Long Xiaoyao at the same time, showing a proud smile, as if he had already seen the scene of Long Xiaoyao being defeated. Everyone was also staring closely at Long Xiaoyao's four major sacrifices. They knew that this might be the only chance to see such a battle with their own eyes. Seeing the four major worshippers coming, Long Xiaoyao was not afraid at all. He rushed straight towards the four major worshippers and started fighting with the four major worshippers. Clank, bang bang bang, claws, fists, knives and guns, claws, fists, and guns collided continuously, producing violent sounds and explosions. Although Long Xiaoyao is fighting 1 against 4, his momentum is similar to that of 3 enshrinements, 3 enshrinements, and 5 enshrinements. Although there is a big gap between him and Golden Douluo, he has awakened the bloodline of Miaodu, and his physical strength is very strong, and he can completely resist the attack of Golden Douluo. Although the level of the four major worshippers is higher than that of Long Xiaoyao, they have more actual combat experience than Long Xiaoyao. But they didn't want Qianjin Douluo and Demon Conquering Douluo to cooperate very closely and not be able to continuously and unexpectedly launch attacks on Long Xiaoyao. And Long Xiaoyao, with his insightful eyes, could clearly see every attack of the four major worshippers. With the help of the Destruction Blade technique and the Law of Wind, Long Xiaoyao was able to perfectly receive or dodge every attack from the four major worshippers. He was even able to find many opportunities to attack them, but he was unable to injure any of the four major worshippers. In this way, Long Xiaoyao and the four major worshippers fought fiercely. End of this chapter. Chapter 219 Yao Siki's Martial Spirit. What? Master Long can actually fight evenly with the four great ministers. After about a minute, everyone was extremely shocked when they saw Long Xiaoyao fighting fiercely with the four worshippers in the sky. Because according to their opinion, Long Xiaoyao shouldn't be able to hold on for so long. No matter how bad it was, the four major worshippers should have suppressed Long Xiaoyao and beat him. They never expected that Long Xiaoyao would be able to fight evenly with the four major worshippers and fall into a fierce battle. Great, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki saw Long Xiaoyao and the four major worshippers fighting fiercely, and they all smiled and breathed a sigh of relief. At the same time, the four girls Ah Yin were also very shocked, especially Yao Siki, because this was the first time Yao Siki saw Long Xiaoyao take action with all his strength. None of them expected that Long Xiaoyao was so powerful that he could evenly compete with the four major worshippers. When the Yao family master and other members of the Yao family saw this scene, they regained hope. When the great elder and other members of the Yao family saw this scene, they started to panic. Clank, bang bang bang. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao continued to fight fiercely with the four major worshippers. It's not right. Why does this kid get more energetic and faster the more he hits? The four priests who were fighting fiercely with Long Xiaoyao suddenly found that they had been fighting with Long Xiaoyao for so long. Long Xiaoyao's power and speed not only did not weaken, but also strengthened. They all felt very confused. No, this guy is devouring our soul power. Everyone, hurry up and distance yourself from him, the second worshipper shouted loudly, and he suddenly discovered that Long Xiaoyao had clearly used the seventh soul skill, and they had only used the second, third, and fourth soul skills. But Long Xiaoyao's soul power not only did not weaken, but actually increased.
and the soul power of him and the other three major worshippers was very much consumed. The second worshipper observed carefully and found that every time they competed with Long Xiaoyao, their soul power would be devoured by Long Xiaoyao. This is exactly the result of Long Xiaoyao secretly using the devouring all things enhanced by the devouring law to swallow the soul power of the four major worshippers every time he fought against them. What? The third worshipper, the fourth worshipper, and the fifth worshipper heard what the second worshipper said, and they all looked carefully, and they all found that Long Xiaoyao was devouring their soul power, and they were all very shocked. After the four major worshippers discovered that Long Xiaoyao could swallow their soul power, they all gave up their fight with Long Xiaoyao and chose to immediately distance themselves from Long Xiaoyao. Want to run? Long Xiaoyao knew that he had no advantage in 1 against 4. If all four major worshippers were to distance themselves from him and attack him with long-range soul skills, he would not have any advantage at all. And if any of the four major worshippers were to deal with Ah Yin and others, he would not rush to the rescue. Click click. Long Xiaoyao immediately used the law of thunder and the law of destruction. His whole body was covered with purple thunder and lightning, which further increased his speed and attack power. He was also able to use lightning to paralyze the four major worshippers. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao turned into a stream of light and chased after him. His speed was faster than any of the four major worshippers, and he pursued the four major worshippers with all his strength. The four major worshippers knew that Long Xiaoyao could devour their soul power, and now they all just wanted to distance themselves from Long Xiaoyao, and did not want to fight head-on with Long Xiaoyao at all. Moreover, Long Xiaoyao didn't give them a chance to breathe at all. They had no time to mobilize their soul power to use their soul skills, so they could only be chased and beaten by Long Xiaoyao. What? Long Xiaoyao is actually suppressing the four major worshippers to fight. Can Long Xiaoyao really be able to defeat the four great worshippers? Everyone below was extremely shocked when they saw Long Xiaoyao chasing and beating the four major worshippers. They did not expect that just a short while later, Long Xiaoyao was already beating the four major worshippers. His Majesty the Pope, please quickly seize Long Xiaoyao's woman. While resisting Long Xiaoyao's attack, Zhongfeng shouted loudly at Kyank Sunji. He wanted Kyank Sunji to capture Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki, and use them to threaten Long Xiaoyao. You guys, go and kill all the Yao family members. After hearing the words of Zhongfeng, Jin Zunji stopped watching on the ground and immediately gave orders to the wedding team of Wuhun Palace and the people of the Yao family who had just surrendered to him. You Long, stabbing blood, hurry up and catch them. Immediately afterwards, Jin Zunji pointed at Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki, and gave orders to the snake spear Douluo and the array Douluo on the left and right behind him. Yes, upon hearing Jin Zunji's order, the wedding team from Wuhun Palace, the great elder and other senior Yao family members, as well as some Yao family members all answered Jin Zunji in unison. For people like the great elder, they only want to survive and get the position of the head of the Yao family. They don't care about the life and death of the Yao family head and others. The other members of the Yao family were a little hesitant when they heard Jin Zunji's order. After all, the people in the Yao family were their relatives. They just wanted to survive. They still couldn't bear to kill the Yao family leader and others and kill. The wedding team of the Wuhun Hall and the great elder and other Yao family members activated their Wuhuns one after another and rushed towards the Yao family master and other Yao family members. Snake Spear Douluo and Elephant Douluo activated their martial spirits one after another and rushed towards Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki. Sisters, open the martial arts spirit and let's go together. Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki looked at the rushing Snake Spear Douluo and Porpoise Douluo without the slightest fear, and their eyes were full of fighting intent. They knew that even though their levels were much different from those of Snake Spear Douluo and Thornaback Douluo, they could not be captured by Snake Spear Douluo and Thornaback Douluo, and they could not become hostages used by Jin Zunji to threaten Long Xiaoyao. Buzz! Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki activated their martial spirits one after another. At the feet of Ah Yin, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki, 6 soul rings of yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black and black rose rapidly. And at Bibi Dong's feet, 7 soul rings of yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, black, and black rose rapidly. Immediately afterwards, a dark blue silver emperor martial spirit appeared on Ah Yin's jade hand, exuding a powerful, gentle and sacred aura. Above Bibi Dong, a purple-black shadow of the Death Spider Emperor's martial spirit appeared, exuding a powerful aura. It looked strange, terrifying, and intimidating. Above Liu Erlong, the red fire dragon spirit phantom exuded a powerful aura and looked very domineering, not inferior to the blue electric tyrant Rex spirit. On Yaosiki's jade hand, a 5-color medicine lotus spirit of red, blue, white, green, and yellow appeared. It looked similar to a lotus, except that it had 5 colors and exuded a powerful aura. When did Kier upgrade from level 58 to level 61? When did her 3-color medicinal lotus spirit evolve into a 5-color medicinal lotus spirit? The head of the Yao family and Mrs. Yao were shocked and confused when they saw Yaosiki's level and martial spirit, and they were also full of surprises. When Yao Xiling and Yao Lao saw Yaosiki's martial spirit and level, they were also happy for Yaosiki. Yaosiki's martial spirit has actually evolved. The Great Elder and other high-level officials of the Yao family who had betrayed were shocked and confused when they saw Yaosiki's martial spirit. They were also full of envy and jealousy. What? Jin Zunji and the people around him were also very shocked when they saw Yaosiki's martial spirit. The Yao family's inherited martial spirit is the 3-color medicine lotus martial spirit, which is an extremely rare food-type martial spirit. However, at most it can only be cultivated to the Soul Saint level. It is difficult to cultivate to the title Douluo level. This is why the Yao family does not have it. The reason why he became a powerful Douluo level person. But everyone knows that the Yao family's martial soul can evolve. The more colors, the stronger the ability, and the higher the future achievements. There was once a medicine man whose 3-color medicinal lotus evolved into a 4-color medicinal lotus, and he cultivated to the level of title Douluo. It was that person who founded the Shine Chamber of Commerce. And now that Yaosiki's martial soul has evolved into a 5-color medicinal lotus, his future achievements will definitely be even higher. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 220. The Four Beauties Fight. 2 Titled Douluo. The reason why Yaosiki's martial spirit was able to evolve and its level was improved was because she completely absorbed the ice immortal jade muscle and bone given to her by Long Xiaoyao. This is also a big reason why Yaosiki likes Long Xiaoyao. Previously, Yaosiki knew that Long Xiaoyao did not want and could not reveal his identity, so she never told anyone about it, not even her parents and younger brother. As for her 6th soul ring, she spent a lot of money to secretly ask someone to help her hunt the 10,000-year-old soul beast, and then killed and absorbed it by herself. No one knew that her martial spirit had evolved. Snake Spear Douluo's spirit can be transformed into either a weapon spirit or a beast spirit. His attack power is very powerful. It's best not to take his attacks forcefully. The martial spirit of the Agony Douluo is extremely poisonous. You must be careful not to be injured by it, even if it is a small wound. Bibi Dong immediately reminded Ah Yin loudly, and Liu Erlong and Yaosi agreed. Sister Yuena and Sister Siki will provide support, and Sister Erlong will support from a distance. They will work with me to block the Snake Spear Douluo and the Array Douluo. Plop, plop. Immediately afterwards, Bibi Dong took a look at Yaosiki's martial soul and immediately commanded. Then she immediately mobilized her soul power, summoned her 6-winged purple light wing, and got ready for battle. It is good. Upon hearing Bibi Dong's reminder and command, Ah Yin, Liu Erlong and Yaosiki had no objections and answered in unison. At the same time, they also mobilized their soul power and prepared for battle. External Spirit Bone. Everyone was shocked and envious when they saw Bibi Dong's 6-winged purple light wing. Because they all know that the external soul bones are more precious than all soul bones, and they can only be found but not sought. They can grow as the Soul Master becomes stronger and become the Soul Master's most powerful weapon. Moreover, the externally attached soul bone will dissipate when the Soul Master dies, and others cannot snatch it. The 6th soul skill, Extreme Crimson Medicine Lotus. Yaosiki directly used her 6th soul skill, and she immediately condensed 3 bright red Extreme Crimson Medicine Lotuses in front of her. Sisters, take it quickly. Yaosiki immediately gave 3 Extreme Crimson Medicinal Lotuses to Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong. Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong looked at the Extreme Crimson Medicine Lotus in their hands, and they swallowed it without any hesitation. Buzz! Suddenly, the momentum of Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong surged, nearly doubling its strength. This is the effect of Yaosiki's Extreme Crimson Medicine Lotus. After taking it, all soul masters who are 1 level higher than her will have their attributes doubled except for mental power, which can last for 3 minutes. Kill God Domain. Bibi Dong immediately activated her God of Killing domain, and the invisible God of Killing domain immediately spread. Her eyes turned red, and the soul power of her whole body was also covered with a layer of bright red. The seventh soul skill, the real body of the Death Spider Emperor. Immediately afterwards, Bibi Dong immediately used her seventh soul skill without any hesitation. The skin on Bibi Dong's upper body quickly turned into a layer of purple-black armor. A black carapace also appeared on her face. Under her eyes, 4 small eyes grew, becoming ferocious and looking very terrifying. Her legs also disappeared, and her abdomen turned into a huge round sphere. 8 thick long legs grew from this sphere, driving her body to walk like flying. There were large green hairs growing on it, and there was also dark mucus. When it dripped on the ground, it made a constant popping sound, strongly corroding. Bibi Dong now looked like a huge poisonous spider, exuding a terrifying aura that was intimidating. Originally, Bibi Dong knew that she would become like this after using the Death Spider Emperor's true form. She had already decided not to use the Death Spider Emperor's true form in front of Xiaoyao. She was worried that Xiaoyao would hate her for this. But Bibi Dong knew that among the 4 Ah Yin girls, she was the only one who could stand up to Snake Spear Douluo and Squirrel Douluo head-on, and she didn't care that Xiaoyao would see her in her current state. Then Bibi Dong took the initiative to rush towards Snake Spear Douluo and Array Douluo. She couldn't let them get close to Yaosiki and Ah Yin. The fifth soul skill, the Light of Death. At the same time, Bibi Dong directly charged up and used her fifth soul skill. Bibi Dong put her hands on her chest, and a ball of black soul power condensed between her hands, exuding a terrifying and formidable aura. Wildfire never burns out, but the spring breeze blows and revives the blue and silver realm. At the same time, Ah Yin immediately used her natural blue-silver domain with all her strength. The invisible blue-silver field immediately centered on her, surrounding the entire area with a radius of 70 meters, and also wrapped up the Snake Spear Douluo and the Array Douluo who were rushing towards the 4 girls Ah Yin. That Ah Yin actually knows the field. Snake Spear Douluo and Galway Douluo were a little surprised when they were wrapped in the blue-silver field. Although Ah Yin's level is too low, his blue-silver domain cannot limit the strength of Snake Spear Douluo and Porpoise Douluo. But both Snake Spear Douluo and Array Douluo knew that this meant that Ah Yin's talent was extremely powerful. If Ah Yin was at the same level as them, they would definitely not be his opponents. The third soul skill, Thunder and Anger. At the same time, Liu Erlong directly used her third soul skill. Click click click, buzz buzz, Liu Erlong was seen condensing a huge, electrically charged fireball in front of her, exuding a powerful aura. The fifth soul skill, Blue-Silver Sea Binding. Seeing this scene, Ah Yin also used her fifth soul skill. Buzz! I saw sky blue silver grass suddenly rising up from the ground, and quickly entangled towards Snake Spear Douluo and Arkfish Douluo, trying to restrain Snake Spear Douluo and Acornfish Douluo. Let Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong attack Snake Spear Douluo and Array Douluo. Yaosiki had prepared his soul power and was ready to make Medicinal Lotus at any time to assist Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong. Seeing this, Bibi Dong directly pushed out with both hands, shooting the Light of Death at Snake Spear Douluo with a powerful momentum. Liu Erlong, on the other hand, pushed out with both hands and shot the Furious Thunder towards the Array Douluo with a compelling momentum. Do you think you can resist us? Snake Spear Douluo and Porcupine Douluo looked at Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, and Liu Erlong's soul attack with disdainful smiles. However, they knew that the 4 girls Ah Yin were not ordinary soul emperors and soul saints, so they did not look down upon the 4 girls Ah Yin too much. The 7th soul skill, the real body of the martial soul, Array Douluo directly used his 7th soul skill. I saw that his lower body expanded rapidly and quickly turned into a huge agouti with thorns all over its body. Each thorn was filled with red liquid and emitted red smoke boom. The blue-silver grass stretched out by Ah Yin's blue-silver sea was directly shattered by the martial spirit Avidar of Array Douluo, and dissipated in the air. The gap in level and soul power between Ah Yin and Argentinian Douluo was really too big. Her 5th soul skill was completely unable to compete with Argentinian Douluo's 7th soul ability. The 5th soul skill, Thunder Explosion Kill. At the same time, Snake Spear Douluo directly used his 5th soul skill. Click click. I saw Snake Spear Douluo's snake spear suddenly filled with thunder and lightning. Holding the snake spear in his hand, he shot towards Bibi Dong's Light of Death and Liu Erlong's Furious Thunder with a powerful momentum boom. I saw Snake Spear Douluo's Snake Spear colliding with Bibi Dong's Death Light and Liu Erlong's Furious Thunder. However, in less than 4 seconds, Bibi Dong's Death Light and Liu Erlong's Furious Thunder were directly shattered by Snake Spear Douluo. Bibi Dong's Death Light lasted for 3 seconds, and Liu Erlong's Furious Thunder lasted for 1 second. The level and soul power gap between Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Snake Spear Douluo was also too big. Even though Bibi Dong was in the Death Spider Emperor's true form, the 5th soul skill she used could not resist Snake Spear Douluo's 5th soul skill. And Liu Erlong's 3rd soul skill was even more unable to withstand Snake Spear Douluo's 5th soul skill. End of this chapter. Chapter 221, In the Big Crisis, Can we only use the blood of the furry calf? Brothers and sisters, don't let them hurt Kier and the others, we will fight with them. At the same time, the head of the Xiao family looked at the wedding team and the great elder and others who rushed towards Wuhun Hall, and shouted loudly to the people of the Xiao family. He knew that Yaosiki was the future hope of their Xiao family, and he also knew that Yaosiki, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, and Liu Erlong were extremely important people to Long Xiaoyao. What he can do now is to block these people and prevent the 4 girls Ah Yin from being besieged by so many people. Kill, Buzz. The people of the Xiao family were not afraid. They had the same idea as the Xiao family leader. Together with the Xiao family leader, they activated their martial spirits one after another and rushed towards the wedding team of the Wuhun Hall and the great elder and other Xiao family people, and a fight broke out. Even though the Wuhun Palace wedding team and the Xiao family such as the great elder were outnumbered, they were powerful. However, many powerful soul masters who joined the Xiao family basically sided with the Xiao family master, because the Xiao family master was kind to them and treated them as members of the Xiao family. Most of them chose to advance and retreat with the Xiao family master. In addition, there are also the assistants of several high-ranking and powerful Xiao family executives, such as the Xiao family master. Therefore, the Xiao family master and other Xiao family members were able to withstand the attack of the Wuhun Palace wedding team, the great elder and other Xiao family members for a while. Come on. At the same time, Snake Spear Douluo held a snake spear in his hand and stabbed towards Bibi Dong quickly. Bibi Dong looked at the Snake Spear Douluo that was attacking so fast. With her current speed, she could completely avoid it. But Bibi Dong couldn't choose to avoid it, otherwise Snake Spear Douluo would break through her and attack Ah Yin. Liu Erlong and Yaosi were at the same level, and she knew they couldn't block the attack of Agni Douluo. The 4th soul skill, Thorn Spider Armor, Bibi Dong directly used her 4th soul skill. Purple-black long thorns over 1 meter in length suddenly appeared, densely covering every part of Bibi Dong's Death Spider Emperor's body, and the purple carapace on his body became extra thick as a result. Immediately afterwards, Bibi Dong raised her 2 claws and crossed them, intending to resist Snake Spear Douluo's thunder burst. Clank, the snake spear and spider claw collided directly, making a violent sound. Although Bibi Dong kept retreating, she was able to withstand Snake Spear Douluo's thunderous explosion in the end. Then Bibi Dong directly fought with Snake Spear Douluo. She relied on the Death Spider Emperor's true body and the ultimate Crimson Medicine Lotus, plus the 6-winged purple light wings, to make up for the gap in level and soul power. She fought against Snake Spear Douluo. It comes and goes. Take the call, whoosh. At the same time, Elephant Douluo launched an attack on Ah Yin, Liu Erlong and Yaosiki. He shot all the poisonous stings from his martial soul avatar at Ah Yin, Liu Erlong and Yaosiki. Countless poisonous stings were fired at Ah Yin, Liu Erlong and Yaosiki from above. The 3rd soul skill, Blue Silver Body Shield, Ah Yin directly used her 4th soul skill, condensing a sky blue silver protective shield, covering her, Liu Erlong, and Yaosiki. 5th soul skill, Soaring Flame, Liu Erlong immediately used her 5th soul skill. I saw red dragon flames rising around the outside of the blue-silver protective shield. They quickly rotated, forming a powerful sky-high dragon rock vortex, forming a powerful dragon flame defensive shield. Boom boom boom, the poisonous stings directly bombarded the dragon flame vortex. They passed directly through the dragon flame vortex and attacked Ah Yin's blue-silver protective shield. Clank, the poisonous stinger directly hit the blue-silver protective shield, but it was unable to break Ah Yin's blue-silver protective shield. Because although Liu Erlong's dragon flames could not withstand the poisonous sting of the Agetagu Douluo, it also greatly weakened the power of the sting, so Ah Yin's blue-silver protective shield could withstand the poison of the Agetagu Douluo prick.
Ah Yin's blue-silver protective shield was completely shattered as a result. Fortunately, they were able to withstand the attack of Galway Douluo. At this time, Bibi Dong and Snake Spear Douluo also retreated a long distance due to the intense fight. But Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, and Liu Erlang's soul power consumption was very huge, especially Bibi Dong's. Because they are fighting across levels now, the soul skills they just used consumed a lot of soul power to withstand the attacks of Snake Spear Douluo and Array Douluo. Otherwise, they would have been defeated long ago. I want to see how much soul power you have to resist my sting. Seeing that Ah Yin and Liu Erlang's soul power consumption was very huge, Agitus Douluo showed a playful smile and immediately mobilized his soul power to make his martial soul avatar covered with poisonous thorns again. Snake Spear Douluo also showed a playful smile and planned to continue fighting Bibi Dong. Damn it! At this time, Long Xiaoyao also noticed that the four girls Ah Yin had already fought back and forth with Snake Spear Douluo and Porpoise Douluo. He knew that the four girls Ah Yin could not hold on much longer, and he was very anxious now. He also wants to get rid of the four major offerings as soon as possible, but how can he casually solve the four major offerings now? He must now continuously attack the four major worshippers and devour the soul power of the four major worshippers, so that the four major worshippers have no time to accumulate soul power and perform soul skills. Otherwise, once a priest uses a soul skill to attack him, he will need to resist it, which will cause other priests to have time to accumulate soul power and use soul skills, in which case he will be passive. But now that he has been attacking the four major offerings, he has no time to accumulate soul power, display powerful soul skills, and use the powerful secrets of the destruction sword technique. Now he can only attack the four major offerings quickly and devour the soul power of the four major offerings, until basically all the soul power of the four major offerings has been devoured by him. I have to hold on. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's voice, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong made up their minds to buy enough time for Long Xiaoyao, even if they risked their lives. The fourth soul skill, Dark Green Recovery Medicine Lotus. Upon seeing this, Yaosiki immediately used her fourth soul skill. She saw Yaosiki in front of her, condensing 3 dark green recovery medicine lotuses, and quickly distributed them to Yin, Liu Erlang and Bibi Dong. Sisters, take it quickly. Looking at the dark green recovery medicine lotus in their hands, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlang took it orally without any hesitation. Buzz! Just after taking it, the soul powers of Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Liu Erlang were all restored. Yaosiki's dark green recovery medicine lotus could only restore 60.00% of her soul power, but since her martial soul evolved, she was able to restore, percent of her soul power. Yu Long, stabbing blood, stop playing around and catch them quickly. Jin Zunji coldly gave orders to Snake Spear Douluo and Arkham Douluo. He noticed that Long Xiaoyao kept beating the four major worshippers, and he always had an ominous premonition in his heart. Yes, Snake Spear Douluo and Agony Douluo answered Kaiangsan Jideo respectfully. The seventh soul skill, the real body of the martial soul, Snake Spear Douluo directly used his seventh soul skill, and saw majestic soul power burst out from his body. He threw the snake spear in his hand upwards. Immediately afterwards, the majestic soul power merged into the snake spear, and the snake spear changed, directly turning into a big snake with 2 snake heads, exuding a powerful aura and looking very scary. Then Snake Spear Douluo stood directly on one of the snake heads, and together with Agony Douluo, they quickly attacked Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlang and Yaosiki. Seeing the attacking Snake Spear Douluo and the Array Douluo, Bibi Dong knew that she couldn't resist them, but she faced them without hesitation. Ah Yin and Liu Erlang immediately began to mobilize their soul power, preparing to use their 6th soul skill to resist the Snake Spear Douluo and the Array Douluo. It seems that only the bloodline of the furry calf can be activated. Seeing this scene, Long Xiaoyao knew that Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlang and Yaosiki could no longer resist him. He could only solve the current predicament by activating Maoto's bloodline and fully using his strength. The reason why he has not activated the Maoto bloodline is because he knows that if he activates the Maoto bloodline, it is likely to attract the attention of the gods in the divine world and bring disaster to him and Ah Yin. But if Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlang and Yaosiki were injured and caught, what would be the point of hiding Maoto's bloodline? However, at this moment, a huge and thick ice wall suddenly appeared between the 4 girls Ah Yin and Snake Spear Douluo and Arkham Douluo, blocking the attacks of Snake Spear Douluo and Arkham Douluo. Who? Snake Spear Douluo and Guillotine Douluo began to look for the person who made the ice wall, and at the same time they also became vigilant. Because they knew that being able to create such a thick ice wall in an instant was definitely not an ordinary person. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 222 The Second Ice and Snow Emperor 2 titled Douluo bullied 4 little girls. Don't you feel ashamed? At this moment, a cold, loud and melodious female voice sounded. Everyone looked for the sound and saw 2 women flying slowly from the sky. The face of one of the women is so beautiful that words cannot describe it. The sky blue eyes are ethereal and transparent, as if they can see through everything in the world. Her white hair hangs down from the back of her head to her feet like a weeping willow. Her slender body is flawless. Although she is wearing a long white dress without any decoration, it makes her look so noble and beautiful. Her skin is as white as ice and snow, like wax snow and cold plums. Outstanding. She looks so charming, sexy and proud, making people want to get close to her, but they don't dare to. The other woman's face is pretty and flawless, with 4 turquoise magic lines on both sides of her charming fair face. The emerald green eyes are crystal clear, beautiful and enchanting. Her long dark green hair hangs naturally behind her back. Her skin is as white as ice and snow, with a transparent texture, and there is a faint blue light flowing under the skin. Paired with the turquoise long skirt, she looks so charming and sexy, very enchanting and extremely charming. Although the 2 girls helped Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki to block the attacks of Snake Spear Douluo and Arkham Douluo, and they had just talked to Snake Spear Douluo and Arkham Douluo. But their eyes were not looking at Snake Spear Douluo and Arkham Douluo, but at Long Xiaoyao who was in the sky and attacking the 4 major enshrinements with all his strength. So beautiful. There is such a beautiful woman in this world. Are they goddesses who came down from the god realm? The fighting Yao family master and other Yao family members, the Wuhun Palace wedding team, and the great elder and other Yao family members all stopped fighting and looked at the 2 women in the sky with everyone else. All of them were fascinated by the beauty and temperament of the 2 women. So beautiful. That green-haired woman is actually comparable to Sister BG and Sister ZG, and that white-haired woman is almost catching up with Sister Yuena. Even Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki were looking at the 2 women in the sky in surprise. It's actually the Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor from the far north. Why are they here? While Long Xiaoyao continued to attack the 4 major worshippers, he glanced at the 2 women. According to the 2 women's identities, he found that the 2 women were actually the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor from the far north. He was very surprised. Xiaoyao knows these 2 women. Ah Yin and Bibi Dong were shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's inner voice. At the same time, they also became wary of the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor who is talking. Listening to the sudden voice in her mind, Snow Emperor felt very confused because she couldn't sense that someone was using her mental power to communicate with her. Are they, like Nair and the others, aware of my existence, so they came out to look for me? Long Xiaoyao guessed that the reason why Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor came here was because they were looking for him just like Yuena and the others did last time. Are they the same as Sister Yuena and the others? Are they also soul beasts? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong were shocked and carefully examined the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor. They are actually soul beasts. After carefully looking at the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong both discovered that the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor exuded very powerful spirit beast auras, and confirmed that the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor were spirit beasts. The Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor originally planned to go to the Stardao forest to find Dawn, and happened to pass by here. Just now they sensed the furry aura emitted by Long Xiaoyao's furry calf spirit, and found that it was exactly the same as the aura of the divine beast they sensed last time. Moreover, they also sensed 4 powerful human soul master auras, none of which were weaker than Long Xiaoyao, and one of them was even more powerful than Long Xiaoyao. The Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor thought that Long Xiaoyao was being hunted by the 4 worshippers, so they immediately exploded with their momentum and flew over, intending to help Long Xiaoyao. They did not hide the soul beast aura on their bodies. However, almost everyone was fascinated by the beauty of Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor, and no one noticed the spirit beast aura on their bodies for a while. After the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor came here, they saw Long Xiaoyao chasing the 4 worshippers from a distance. There was no danger, so they were not anxious. They happened to see Snake Spear Douluo and Cavalry Douluo attacking the 4 girls Ah Yin with all their strength.
They discovered that the clothes on Snake Spear Douluo and Cavalry Douluo, as well as the clothes on the 4 major worshippers, were from Wuhun Palace logo. Therefore, the Snow Emperor guessed that Snake Spear Douluo and Array Douluo should be in the same group with the 4 major worshippers, and the 4 girls Ah Yin and Long Xiaoyao were in the same group, so she immediately took action to save the 4 girls Ah Yin. Is this the voice of the mythical beast? Lord Divine Beast actually knows us. Do you still know that we are here to find him? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's heartfelt voice, Snow Emperor's cold eyes showed a trace of ripples, and he felt very shocked. She couldn't figure out why she could hear Long Xiaoyao's voice. What's more, she couldn't understand that it was the first time for her and Ice Emperor to meet Long Xiaoyao, but Long Xiaoyao actually knew them and knew the purpose of their coming. It doesn't matter if the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor are here. With their help, I don't have to use the blood of the Maodu, and I don't have to worry about my existence being sensed by the gods in the god realm. Long Xiaoyao breathed a sigh of relief and smiled, but he knew he had to tell the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor quickly. Otherwise, if the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor directly knelt down to him and said to him, "Greetings to the Lord Divine Beast," even if he did not use the blood of the furry calf, it would be no different than using the blood of the furry calf. Very good. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's voice, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong felt a little relieved, but they were also very unwilling. They all want to help Long Xiaoyao and fight alongside Long Xiaoyao. But they are too weak now. Not only can they not help Long Xiaoyao, but they have also become a burden to Long Xiaoyao, almost letting Long Xiaoyao use Maodu bloodline. It seems that Binger and I came at the right time. The Snow Emperor felt very lucky to hear Long Xiaoyao's thoughts. Although Snow Emperor was born and raised, she was also a soul beast. She could feel how powerful the Mao calf bloodline in Long Xiaoyao was and how much it made her want to get close to him. She instinctively and willingly helped Long Xiaoyao, and she felt lucky that she and Ice Emperor arrived at the right time. Such a powerful soul beast aura. And they're still in human form. Could it be that they are the legendary ferocious beasts? Jin Zunji finally discovered the soul beast auras on the Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor, and was extremely shocked and excited at the same time. Because 10-year-old soul beasts are already rare but hard to come by. Ferocious beasts that are more than 10 years old are rare to encounter in 10,000 years, and they almost only exist in legends. Legend has it that the ferocious beast can take the form of a human, but almost no one has ever seen it. But now Jin Zunji can be sure. What a powerful soul beast breath, are they not goddesses, but legendary beasts? Not only Jin Zunji, but everyone present also discovered the soul beast auras on the Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor one after another. They all guessed that they were ferocious beasts, and they were all extremely shocked. It's actually a ferocious beast, of course. The 4 great priests who were being chased and beaten by Long Xiaoyao also noticed the beast Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor, and were also very shocked. Snow Emperor, Ice Emperor, don't reveal my identity as a divine beast. Just pretend to be passing by here by chance, and I can't stand the way Wuhun Palace bullies the small, the strong, and the weak, so I help you. Then you just need to protect Yuena and the others, the 4 women whom Emperor Zhu just rescued, and the people from the Yao family who are standing with him. As for why I want you to do this, I will explain it to you after the immediate trouble is solved. While Long Xiaoyao was chasing the 4 great worshippers, he immediately used his mental power to send a message to the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor to remind him that only the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor could hear them. End of this chapter? Chapter 223 Frozen Realm. Yes. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's mental power transmission, the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor used their mental power to communicate to answer Long Xiaoyao. Even Long Xiaoyao's spiritual power will make all soul beasts whose bloodline power is not as powerful as his dare not or want to reject him. Doesn't the mythical beast know that we can hear his voice? After hearing Long Xiaoyao's mental power transmission, Snow Emperor guessed that Long Xiaoyao probably didn't know that she could hear Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, otherwise there would be no need for Long Xiaoyao to use mental power transmission to remind her. But she didn't know that Ice Emperor couldn't hear Long Xiaoyao's thoughts. She thought Ice Emperor could hear it too. When Ice Emperor heard Long Xiaoyao's spiritual power transmission, she looked shocked and her beautiful eyes widened a bit. She didn't remember that she had seen Long Xiaoyao before. Zuir, God, Ice Emperor turned to Snow Emperor. He was about to ask Snow Emperor if he remembered seeing Long Xiaoyao, but he remembered what Long Xiaoyao had just said and immediately closed his mouth. Zuir, Master Divine Beast actually knows us too.
Have we seen him? Also, why doesn't he let us reveal his identity as a mythical beast? The Ice Emperor turned to use his mental power to send messages to the Snow Emperor, and then looked at the Snow Emperor with curiosity. Could Binger hear the voice of the sacred beast? After hearing the sound transmission from Ice Emperor's spiritual power, Snow Emperor guessed that Ice Emperor could not hear Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, which made her very confused. She could not figure out why she could hear Long Xiaoyao's thoughts even more. I haven't seen it before, and I don't know how the mythical beast knows us. The Snow Emperor truthfully answered the Ice Emperor using his spiritual voice. Now let's just follow the instructions of Master Divine Beast and protect the 4 little girls and the people from the Yao family who are with him. As for why the Divine Beast doesn't let us reveal that he is a Divine Beast, can't we just ask him later? Snow Emperor used his mental power to communicate with Ice Emperor again. She didn't know why she could hear Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, and she didn't fully understand why Long Xiaoyao didn't let them be exposed, so she didn't tell Ice Emperor clearly. Out of reasons. Makes sense. Ice Emperor nodded. At this time, the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor happened to be directly above the 4 girls. Ah Yin. You too, I am the Pope of Wuhun Palace. Why do you want to interfere? Things between us humans shouldn't have anything to do with you, right? Kayangxin quickly flew into the air, faced the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor, and asked coldly. After Kayangxin knew that the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor were ferocious beasts, he wanted to hunt down the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor, beat the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor back seriously, so that his daughter could kill the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor in the future. Absorb them as soul rings. However, Jin Zunji could see that the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor were very powerful, especially the Snow Emperor. He felt that no one could beat them. Even the 3rd, 4th, and 5th worshippers may not be the opponents of the Snow Emperor. Perhaps only the 2nd worshippers can hunt the Snow Emperor. The 4 major worshippers are now being chased by Long Xiaoyao. If he hunts the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor now, causing Long Xiaoyao to join forces with the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor, today is likely to be the day they die. He felt that the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor must know how powerful the Spirit Hall was, and wanted to use the name of the Spirit Hall to frighten the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor. Martial Soul Hall, we've never heard of it, the Ice Emperor said disdainfully that she and the Snow Emperor had always been in the far north and had indeed never heard of the Spirit Hall. What you human soul masters want to do is indeed none of our business, but we can't bear to see you using the more to bully the less, and the stronger to bully the weak. As long as we are here, you can't even think about harming the 4 of them, and them, Snow Emperor said lightly, but her words were full of majesty, making it clear that she was not joking and had absolute confidence. They want to help us, probably because they are happy. After hearing the words of Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor, the 4 girls Ah Yin guessed that Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor helped them because of Long Xiaoyao, but they also breathed a sigh of relief because they were almost unable to withstand Snake Spear Douluo and the Galway Douluo attacked. They actually want to help us. When the Yao family master and other members of the Yao family heard what Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor said, they were all shocked, and at the same time very happy, because they were almost unable to stop them. They actually want to help Ah Yin, the Yao family master and other Yao family members. Everyone else was shocked when they heard what Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor said. They had never expected and could not understand that they would actually help Ah Yin, the Yao family master and other members of the Yao family. Jin Zunji was shocked when he heard what Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor said. At the same time, he felt even more angry. He didn't expect that Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor didn't take Wuhun Palace seriously at all. So, do you want to make enemies of our Spirit Hall? Chihiro refused to give up and threatened Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor again. We are enemies as long as we are enemies. Do you think we are afraid of your Spirit Hall? The Ice Emperor showed no fear at all and immediately attacked Kayangxin Jidao without any fear on his face. The Snow Emperor looked at Jin Zunji indifferently, with no fear in his eyes, and even a trace of disdain. Everyone looked at Jin Zunji, wanting to see what decision Jin Zunji would make. Since you dare to be enemies with our Wuhun Palace, then please die, Jin Zunji shouted coldly at the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor. If he backed down at this time, not only would he not be able to catch the 4 girls Ah Yin, he would use them to threaten Long Xiaoyao, and then catch Long Xiaoyao. Moreover, it will also damage the reputation of Wuhun Palace. Saying that they are afraid of soul beasts will have a great impact on the future development of Wuhun Palace.
The most important thing is, if he doesn't catch Long Xiaoyao and kill Long Xiaoyao before he grows up. In the future, when Long Xiaoyao grows up, their Wuhun palace will also be destroyed by Long Xiaoyao. So Jin Zunji can only pray now, hoping that the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor are not as powerful as he feels. You Long, stabbing blood. You and I will catch them together. As soon as Jin Zunji finished speaking, he immediately mobilized his soul power and activated his martial spirit. Buzz! At Jin Zunji's feet, 9 soul rings, yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 and black, rose rapidly. Immediately afterwards, above Jin Zunji, the phantom of the sacred seraph martial spirit suddenly appeared, exuding a powerful and sacred aura. Yes, Snake Spear Douluo and Cavalry Douluo replied in unison, and then they controlled their martial soul avatars, came to the front of Jin Zunji, and began to mobilize their soul power, preparing to use their soul skills. All of you, go kill the Yao family and seize the 4 women of Long Xiaoyao. Anyone who violates this will die, Jin Zunji ordered to the wedding team of Wuhun Palace and the Yao family such as the Great Elder. 7th Soul Skill, Angel Avatar. As soon as he finished speaking, Jin Zunji immediately used his 7th Soul Skill. The majestic soul power burst out from Jin Zunji's body and condensed to form a huge golden angel true body, exuding a powerful and sacred aura. Kill. After hearing Jin Zunji's order, the Wuhun Palace wedding team, the Great Elder and other Yao family members had stopped attacking, as well as those Yao family members who had not originally attacked the Yao family master and other Yao family members. They all reaccumulated their soul power, activated their martial spirits, and rushed towards the 4th daughter Ah Yin, the head of the Yao family and other members of the Yao family. The Frozen Realm. Seeing this, Emperor Zhu raised one of her jade hands and said softly boom. Snow Emperor suddenly burst out with a powerful momentum, even more powerful than the second worshipper's momentum. Buzz! Immediately afterwards, the invisible frozen domain suddenly expanded, even covering half of Shine City. Ka-ka-ka, a layer of ice formed immediately, directly freezing the feet of the Wuhun Hall wedding team and the First Elder and other members of the Yao family, making them unable to move at all. End of this chapter. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 224 The Powerful Ice and Snow Emperor. So cold, drink, I can't break this layer of ice. The Wuhun Palace wedding team and the Great Elder and other members of the Yao family were frozen. Even if they were Soul Saint level experts, they could not make a single crack appear in the ice that sealed them, even if they tried their best. The skin of their bodies turned purple, their bodies trembled, and they felt extremely cold. It's so cold, although the 4th daughter Ah Yin, the head of the Yao family, the other Yao family members, and others present were not frozen, they felt the coldness of the ice and took several steps back, feeling very shocked. Now, use the 9th soul skill, Angel's Glory. Seeing this, Jin Zunji immediately gave orders to Snake Spear Douluo and Array Douluo, and at the same time, he used his 9th soul skill. Jin Zunji immediately put his hands on his chest, and at the same time, majestic soul power burst out from Jin Zunji's body. Immediately afterwards, Jin Zunji's entire angelic body emitted golden light, and a dazzling golden energy ball condensed between his hands, and this energy ball continued to grow larger, exuding a powerful momentum. The 9th soul skill, Thunder Shot, Snake Spear Douluo immediately followed and used his 9th soul skill. I saw powerful soul power erupting from Snake Spear Douluo's body. His Snake Spear real body turned into a Snake Spear again, and then came to the top of Snake Spear Douluo, aiming the spearhead at the Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor. After the powerful soul power was integrated into Snake Spear Douluo's Snake Spear Spirit, the Snake Spear Spirit continued to grow rapidly, exuding a powerful aura. The 9th soul skill, the Light of 10,000 Poisons, Array Douluo did not dare to lag behind and immediately used his 9th soul skill. I saw the martial spirit avatar of Elephant Douluo opening its dark mouth and aiming at the Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor. Immediately afterwards, powerful soul power erupted from the body of Cavalry Douluo, converging in front of the mouth of Cavalry Douluo's martial soul avatar, condensing into a black soul power ball with black gas, and it continued to the ground expanded, exuding a powerful and terrifying aura. Emperor Sword, Ice Extreme Unparalleled,
When the Snow Emperor saw this, her face didn't waver at all, and she used her soul skill. The Snow Emperor raised her right jade hand and pointed it at Jin's Unji, Snake Spear Douluo and Porpoise Douluo. Immediately afterwards, the vast soul power burst out from the Snow Emperor's body, gathered in front of the Snow Emperor's jade hand, and turned into a dark blue long sword that was made of ice crystals. The long sword exudes a powerful and terrifying aura, which makes people feel very cold and unconsciously fearful. The wrath of the Ice Emperor. When the Ice Emperor saw this, he also showed a disdainful smile, and also used her soul skills. The Ice Emperor raised her left jade hand and pointed it at Jin's Unji, Snake Spear Douluo, and Porpoise Douluo. Immediately afterwards, the majestic soul power burst out from the Ice Emperor's body, gathered in front of the Ice Emperor's left jade hand, and condensed to form a white energy ball, which was still expanding, exuding a terrifying aura. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, Jin's Unji, Snake Spear Douluo and Archon Douluo launched their 9th soul skills at the Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor. All I saw was a golden blazing beam. A huge golden electrically charged spear, a black and steamy beam, with extremely powerful momentum. It shot at the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor at the same time. Call out, boom. Click click. Seeing this, the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor directly used their soul skills without stopping too much. The longsword in front of Snow Emperor Yu's hand was seen flying directly towards Jin's Unji, Snake Spear Douluo and Archon Douluo's 9th soul skill. And the path that the longsword passed through left a thick layer of ice crystal fog. The energy ball in front of Ice Emperor Jade's hand turned into a white beam of light, which flew directly towards the 9th soul skill fired by Jin's Unji, Snake Spear Douluo and a back Douluo. The path of the white beam also generated white ice crystal fog. Boom. The spirit skills of Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor collided with those of Kaiangsan Ji, Snake Spear Douluo, and Thorns Douluo. In less than a second, Jin's Unji, Snake Spear Douluo, and Thorns Douluo were defeated. All Douluo's soul skills froze into ice crystal mist and dissipated in the air. How is this possible? Jin's Unji, Snake Spear Douluo and Porpoise Douluo were extremely shocked when they saw this scene. They did not expect that the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor would be so powerful. They had already used their strongest soul skills with all their strength, but there was no comparison with the soul skills of the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor. However, the Snow Emperor's longsword and the Ice Emperor's light beam showed no intention of stopping, and shot straight at Jin's Unji, Snake Spear Douluo, and Array Douluo, leaving them with no time to avoid them. His Majesty the Pope, run away, while shouting. Snake Spear Douluo and Array Douluo used their soul power to build a layer of soul power around their bodies. They rushed towards the Snow Emperor's longsword and the Ice Emperor's white beam respectively, trying to save Jin. Seek illness to gain time to escape. What? The moment they received the longsword and the white beam, Snake Spear Douluo and Porcupine Douluo couldn't help but scream in pain. The martial spirit avatar of the Array Douluo was directly frozen and shattered, dissipating in the air. The soul power layers of Snake Spear Douluo and Galileo Douluo were rapidly being frozen. No matter how hard they tried, they could not slow down the freezing speed at all. The defenses that were quickly broken through turned into 2 ice sculptures, completely dead, with their eyes still open, falling from the air to the ground. They are too powerful. Everyone on the ground was extremely shocked when they saw this scene. They also did not expect that the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor could crush Jin's Unji, Snake Spear Douluo and Acorn Douluo. If only I were this powerful. Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki were shocked when they saw this scene, but also felt extremely envious. If they were that powerful, they could help Long Xiaoyao and fight alongside him. Upon seeing this, Jin Zunji immediately took control of the angel's true form and fled in the opposite direction without stopping. Jin Zunji knew that let alone kill Long Xiaoyao and capture the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor today, if he didn't escape, he would probably die here today. Snow Emperor, Ice Emperor, catch Jin Zunji quickly, don't let Jin Zunji escape. Long Xiaoyao had been watching the battle between Snow Emperor and the others. He discovered that Jin Zunji wanted to escape, and immediately sent a mental message to Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor. He is currently attacking the 4 major enshrinements with all his strength and has no time to catch Jin Zunji. Yes. The Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor immediately and respectfully replied using their spiritual power. Ice Cage, Ice Emperor immediately stretched out her 2 jade hands towards Jin Zunji and used her remote control soul skill. Click click. An ice cage with 6 sides like a cage was instantly formed on all sides and above Jin Zunji, and quickly joined together one by one, wrapping Jin Zunji when. Jin Zunji controlled the angel's true form and hammered the ice cage 3 times in succession, but was unable to shake the ice cage at all. Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor immediately flew towards Jin Zunji quickly, trying to catch Jin Zunji. 4 worshippers, you use all your strength to block Long Xiaoyao. 3 worshippers, you and I will stop those 2 ferocious beasts. 5 worshippers, hurry up and escape with His Majesty the Pope. Upon seeing this, Golden Douluo immediately ordered 3 offerings and 5 offerings. He saw the current situation clearly, and now he could only let Jin Zunji escape quickly. Yes, the 4 major worshippers also saw the current situation clearly and answered in unison. Don't think about it. Si Gongfang took the initiative to accept Long Xiaoyao's attack, allowed Long Xiaoyao to devour his soul power, and tried his best to stop Long Xiaoyao. The second and third offerings immediately flew towards the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor. The 5 offerings flew towards Jin Zunji. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 225 Killing for Sacrifice that depends on whether you have the ability. Clank, bang bang bang. When Long Xiaoyao saw this, it was exactly what he wanted, and he immediately launched a fierce offensive against the 4 ministers without giving them any chance to breathe. He saw the strength of the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor, and believed that the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor could block the second and third worshippers, and even defeat the second worshippers and the third worshippers. What he has to do now is to kill the 4 worshippers with all his strength, and then kill the 5th worshipper and catch Jin Zunji. Then he went with the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor to kill the second worshipper and the third worshipper. Soon, the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor were fighting with the second and third consecrated soldiers. The 5 worshippers came to the ice cage and began to break the ice cage with all their strength to save Jin Zunji. Long Xiaoyao, on the other hand, attacked the 4 worshippers with all his strength while taking the opportunity to devour the soul power of the 4 worshippers, without giving the 4 worshippers a chance to breathe and accumulate power. At the same time, he was still injecting soul power into the god-killing Sword of Destruction, accumulating power and preparing to use the secret of the Sword of Destruction to kill the 4 worshippers. Because now Long Xiaoyao only needs to attack one of the 4 worshippers, he is now fully capable of attacking the 4 worshippers while accumulating power. Oops. While resisting Long Xiaoyao's attack, the 4 worshippers saw Long Xiaoyao's god-destroying god-killing sword light up, exuding an even more terrifying aura of destruction, and felt uneasy in their hearts. He really wanted to use his soul skills to fight against Long Xiaoyao, but under Long Xiaoyao's fierce attack and Long Xiaoyao's constant devouring of his soul power, he now had no time to accumulate energy to use his soul skills. I can only watch helplessly as Long Xiaoyao accumulates strength. The secret of the sword technique of destruction, annihilation. After a while, Long Xiaoyao gathered up his strength. He found an opportunity to unite his waist and horse, concentrated all his strength, and slashed at the 4 worshippers with all his strength. The 4 worshippers had no choice but to cross their hands, trying to resist Long Xiaoyao's annihilation. Zhang. Long Xiaoyao directly slashed with all his strength on the Dark Rhinoceros King's glove enshrined in the 4th altar, making a violent sound. However, Long Xiaoyao was using annihilation with all his strength at this moment, and he even used the Law of Thunder and the Law of Destruction to increase his power. The 4th sacrifice is now only his 4th soul skill, and because Long Xiaoyao has been devouring his soul power, he cannot even use it at the soul power level, but he can withstand Long Xiaoyao's attack boom. In less than a second, Long Xiaoyao directly chopped off Si Feng's Dark Rhinoceros King glove, as well as Si Feng's hands puff. What? Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao slashed open the chest of Si Zongfeng, causing Si Zongfeng to scream in pain. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao didn't give the 4th priest any time to breathe, and directly grabbed the 4th priest's neck, making the 4th priest want to scream, but couldn't. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao began to use the devouring law to devour all things, and began to quickly devour the soul power and souls of the 4 worshippers, trying to kill the 4 worshippers directly. Si Gongfeng suddenly felt extremely painful all over his body, and his whole body began to tremble uncontrollably. His 7 orifices also began to bleed, and he looked very scary. Si Zongfeng felt that Long Xiaoyao was devouring his soul power and soul, and he wanted to stop it, but he was unable to stop it at all. He could only watch helplessly as Long Xiaoyao devoured his soul power and soul. Great! Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki noticed this scene and were all happy for Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao is so awesome. Second enshrinement, third enshrinement and fifth enshrinement just left not long ago, and he actually caught 4 enshrinement. Others were extremely shocked when they saw that Long Xiaoyao had captured the 4 worshippers. When the Yao family master and other members of the Yao family saw this scene, they all smiled. Seeing this scene, the wedding reception team of Wuhun Hall, the great elder and other Yao family members all felt more and more uneasy when they saw this scene. 4 offerings, the second and third worshippers saw this scene. Although they wanted to save the 4th worshipper, they were currently fighting the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor, and they were suppressed by the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor. They had no energy left to save the 4th worshipper. His Majesty the Pope, let's run away. Noticing the scene, Wu Zongfeng, who had just broken the ice cage, immediately ran away with Jin Zunji. He knew that if he didn't run, he would have no chance to escape. Long Xiaoyao, please remember, I will kill you sooner or later. Jin Zunji saw this scene, gritted his teeth and said, and then immediately ran away with the 5 worshippers. At this moment, Long Xiaoyao had already devoured all the soul power and souls of the 4 worshippers. This turned Si Zongfeng into a corpse with extremely horrific death appearance, completely dead. Want to escape? Seeing Jin Zunji trying to escape with Wu Zongfeng, Long Xiaoyao showed a disdainful smile at the same time. He let go of Si Zongfeng's neck and let Si Zongfeng fall to the ground naturally. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao waved with Suzuki wings, and with the help of the law of wind and the law of thunder, he held the destruction god-killing sword in his hand and turned into a stream of light, chasing Wu Zongfeng and Jin Zunji quickly, and at the same time summoned his chaos soul bone on the left leg. His Majesty the Pope, run away quickly, I will come to the rear. Realizing that Long Xiaoyao was chasing after him quickly, Wu Zongfeng said resolutely to Jin Zunji, then stopped and looked at Long Xiaoyao. The 7th soul skill, Red Flame True Body. Immediately afterwards, Wu Zongfeng directly displayed his 7th soul skill. I saw majestic soul power bursting out from the body of the 4th worshipper, turning into red flames, covering the whole body of the 5th worshipper and the whole body of the red flame gun, causing the whole body of the 5th worshipper and the red flame gun to be ablaze. Red flame. Immediately afterwards, the flames all over Wu Zongfeng's body condensed into flame armor, looking domineering and imposing. Jin Zunji didn't hesitate at all when he saw this and ran away at full speed. Look at the gun. The 5 worshippers held the red flame gun in their hands and rushed towards Long Xiaoyao at full speed, hoping to stop Long Xiaoyao and let Jin Zunji escape quickly. Kyank Sunji, don't even think about escaping. When Bibi Dong saw this, even though the effect of the ultimate Crimson Medicine Lotus had expired and she knew that she was no match for Jin Zunji now, she still waved her 6-winged purple light wings and flew towards Jin Zunji at full speed, hoping to stop Jin Zunji. Looking for illness. Bibi Dong knew that if Jin Zunji escaped today, Jin Zunji would definitely hide in the Angel Temple in the future. If she wanted to kill Jin Zunji again, she would have to wait how many years later? She didn't want to wait that long. She wanted to kill Jin Zunji now to avenge her parents. But Bibi Dong's level is far lower than Jin Zunji. Even if he tried his best, he couldn't catch up with Jin Zunji. Sister Danger, upon seeing this, Ah Yin, Liu Erlong and Yao Siki immediately chased after him, wanting to help Bibi Dong. But they couldn't catch up with Bibi Dong because they couldn't fly. Don't worry Danger, I will make you my woman sooner or later. Jin Zunji saw Bibi Dong chasing him and said to Bibi Dong with a smile. When Bibi Dong heard Jin Zunji's words, she felt extremely angry, but there was nothing she could do about it. Escape. Long Xiaoyao immediately used escape and escaped into the chaotic space. Disappeared. Seeing Long Xiaoyao disappear before his eyes, the 5 worshippers were extremely shocked and confused. Others who noticed Long Xiaoyao's disappearance were also extremely confused and shocked. Not good. Wu Zongfeng realized something, and he immediately turned to Jin Zunji. You have no future. Long Xiaoyao escaped from the chaotic space, came to Jin Zunji, and said to Jin Zunji coldly, end of this chapter. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.